Well, hello everyone. It's Comic Artist Pro Secrets. Good morning. It's a kind of morning show of Comic Artist Pro Secrets, and I'm happy to be with you. I wanted to start up a live stream and just basically live stream all day today if I can. I told Andrea this is going to be a big day. It's Saturday. Everybody's in the house, and we got a lot to talk about. And why not just do that? Hi everyone. BDad8504 is here. Gaius Marius. Thank you guys all for, I'm seeing a lot of green names. Thank you guys so much for joining the channel. That's a huge, huge benefit to me and this channel and my family. And I definitely do appreciate you guys. I want to tell you that every single day. Joining the channel is a good thing. It means you're going to get a trading card. We're working on the Rumblebee card right now. We're going to get the Rumblebee card out to you guys next couple of weeks, I think. I hope so. So far, COVID has not slowed down comicsgate one single bit. I checked around. I think we're going to be able to do business just fine. There shouldn't be any kind of problems or delays unless the printers close down. But I don't think the printers will. And in the meantime, we're getting out the Cyberfrog Second Chance chromium covers and posters today. Today, I finished all of the Cyberfrog sketch covers. I'm moving on to the Salamandroids. The postman just came and picked up all of the Jay Lee posters. So all of the Jay Lee Wreck Planet posters are in the mail now. Hunter's upstairs boxing up all of the signed Cyberfrog chromiums. All of those things are going to go out right on schedule. We're not delaying anything. Everything is coming out. You're at home. You're trapped at home. You need something to read. We're sending you Cyberfrog Comics stat. That's what we do. We're here to help you guys. Let me see if I refresh this. YouTube's acting weird lately. Okay, there we are. All right. I was like, is my show even on? Like, what's going on right now? Let's see. EVS started self-quarantining 20 years ago, and it served me well. It's a good thing to self-quarantine. You get a lot of stuff done. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Chris Clark says, extend the campaign. We're going to do what we have to do. Let's just feel around right now and just see how things are going. Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet is live right now. Obviously, it's doing great. The link's in the description. We're going to be promoting the hell out of this today. Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet is 300, and I mean, you got to be kidding me. Every time I refresh this, it jumps up a little bit. $389,515 with 3,210 backers. The campaign is a juggernaut, and I was remembering the other day. I remember the first campaign. The first campaign for Cyberfrog Blood Honey, the very first month, I did a closeout show for month number 1. And I was going to extend it another month, but you always do the dramatic clock ticking down to the last 24 hours of the first 30 days. And we hit $400,000 at the end of the first month. And I remember vividly, I was drinking beers. I was so excited. I was crying and just overwhelmed. $400,000 in a month, and we're almost there in the first week. Tomorrow at noon, we'll mark the 7-day point of the first of Cyberfrog 2 Wrecked Planet. 7 days funding, and we're at $389,000. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate that. The link's in the description. We're going to go over the campaigns and everything like that. A lot of people are saying to me, extend the campaign. Well, we're going to extend it at least 30 days, and we'll see what happens after that. I have faith. I have faith that everything's going to be pretty much okay. People are going to be returning to work. People are going to, we're going to beat this disease. We're going to beat it. It shouldn't be a big deal. We can keep plucky. Comicsgate can kind of survive this. And of course it can. In the meantime, we've got Cyberfrog Unforgettable Tales, which is closed out and did way better than I thought this was going to do too. $127,665. This is trailing right behind Cecil's Cash Grab. I think it's the number 4 biggest comic book campaign of 2020 so far. So thank you for that. Phenomenal. And then we've got a new Vampirella cover as well with 245 backers. This is the 3rd Cyberfrog Salamandroid Vampirella crossover cover that we've done. Has t-shirts. It has 2 new Ribbit coins. And it has I don't know, variants of the comic itself. So you know, pick up a copy of this while you're at it. Okay, so how are you guys? Tasman25 says, but can Marvel survive itself? No, and it feels like it doesn't want to. It really does feel kind of like it doesn't really want to survive right now. Riley Odlin points out that there is, oh, I got this and I haven't looked at this yet. Red Rooster PDF. Mitch and Elizabeth sent out Red Rooster, I think the first 24 pages. That's a regular size comics worth of material. And that's out there now. People are reading it. I don't know. Is it good? Did you guys read it and check it out? And what did you think? Let me see. I'm going to try to open it up here and see how it goes. All right. They need my email address. That's easy enough. I don't like digital comics ordinarily. I'm not a fan, but I'm dying of curiosity. 6-digit verification code. Oh, this is really something else, guys. Let me see if I can find that 6-digit verification code here. All right. Here's a verification code. We'll just take a look at this. I hope these guys understand. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but we'll look at some of it. You know, why wouldn't we? A lot of complicated stuff. I just printed a frog comic and sent it to people. I didn't do all this rigmarole. Okay. Wow. How cool. All right. So hold on a second. Let me share this and we'll enjoy this together. Justin Mabes here. He says, hail the human sunbeam. Hail chat. Dan Marshall's here. Andrew Sabina says 6 more digits. Jeremy Peterson talks about Snowflake and Save Space. 2 tons of fun. Marvel superheroes. That's got to be a troll. A massive troll. It cannot be real. We're going to talk about all of this. I've got enough material to keep this to keep a dumb live stream going all day long. So if you guys are in the house, if you guys are doing housework, I'll be here to keep you company. I also have 2 bottles of water to preserve my voice, to stay moisturized, to stay hydrated. So we should be all right. Oh, might be more mummy stories. We might do that too. But let's look at Red Rooster, shall we? This is the big comics gate news of the day. Red Rooster backer preview edition here. I guess there are 17 pages. There literally are just 17 pages. Drawn by Mitch Breitweiser here, and then written by Mark Pellicreepy. Don't like that dude. It says 24 pages, but it says page 1. Oh, there must be double page spreads. There must be accounting for double page spreads. All right, so what do? We scroll down here. All right, Eric Weathers lettered this. Look how beautiful Mitch Breitweiser's artwork is. When it all fell apart, you caught that last little piece of me, George. Before it could hit the ground with the rest of the wreckage. You helped me keep it together when no one else could and when no one else wanted to. Thank you. Looks like he's digging up. Oh, no, he's burying somebody. I thought he was digging up somebody's dead body. It was too painful to talk it was too painful to talk about where we go from here. But I know I must go there alone. Goodbye, old friend. Goodbye, old friend. That's how I would have read that if I were an actor. It's time to head home. And he leaves. It looks like he buried his dog, Rascal. Here lies Rascal. He was a good boy. He was. If you're going to run away from home, kid, you better bring more than 35 cents and some bubblegum cards. Oof. Give me back my money, you gorilla. You're going to lose more than your... Kid, you're going to lose a lot more than your life savings. Grab. You're going to lose your life. Picks him up. I said, give me my money back. Keep your change, you little brat. I'll shut you up for free. And this big dude is going to beat the living shit out of an 8-year-old. Look at him. He's picking him up by the scruff of his neck. He's going to punch this 8-year-old ginger kid. That's not right. This guy's an enormous human being. Somebody's got to stop this. You know, there are cases where there are some cases where justice must be done. This is a grave injustice. You've got a guy this size beating the crap out of an 8-year-old. Something's got to be done about it. And the kid starts reciting poetry as he's about to get punched in the fucking face. His entire head will cave in if he gets hit with this fist. He says, I shall stand watch when the clock strikes foul, a burning beacon Two fiends on prowl. Ignite the shadows till the last is gone. Light braves the... Shut up! If I wanted to hear poetry, I'd have stayed in grammar school. Sir, your overalls. Sir, I can see your nipples. Sir. And then the kid puts up his fist, and then here comes presumably Red Rooster. He says, time to go back to class, Tiny. Here's a playground classic. Cracks his arm behind. Look at this. Tag, you're it. Punches his molar out. Or is that a molar or what is this? I think it's a molar. You got moxie, kid, but don't be stupid. That ape could pick his teeth with you. He says, I ain't a wimp. You don't have to be a wimp, but you don't have to be suicidal either. Remember, light braves the darkness. Darkness fears the dawn. And, he walks away. Wait, Mr. Wait, would you sign my bubblegum card? I'd sign it for him. And kid's got moxie. I'd sign it. Ethan Van Sciver, 22 Skidoo. Could you make it out to Calvin? Sure. One day I'm going to be a hero like you. First, go back home and tell your parents you're sorry for running away. Then, if you still want to be a hero, join the army. It's good advice. Kid is shocked at how awesome Red Rooster is. He says, wow, he only signed it RR. There you go, for Calvin. Pick up the pace, hero. We're gaining steam. Woo, saw what you done back there. Real heroic, by the way. Very heroic to not pay your fare. Sorry, there's a banner up right now. Everybody's getting pissed at me. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. I'll take it down. Jeremy Peterson says, man, EVS, you could read to us anytime. Thank you so much. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying story time here. All right, let's get back to the story, shall we? I don't find it heroic. This guy stole a train fare. Just pay your fare. You have to. This is injustice here. You are stealing by becoming a steam tramp hobo. You're stealing from the. You're stealing from the railroad. Woo, saw what you done back there. Ain't seen nothing like that since the Rooster was in pictures. You're a good man. He says, don't count on it. See, don't count on it. He's probably not really a good man. He stole his train ticket. This is awesome. This is really, really good, guys. What can I tell you? Look at this. Here we go. Let's just look at the heroes. Keep it strong. Keep it steady, strong boy. Maybe you should be driving and I should be fighting. Watch and learn, Thurman. And he's like, look at him. He's balancing on the motorcycle. He's whipping a whip above his head. This guy's shooting a gun behind him like this, popping a wheelie. This requires some finesse. Boom. Herc. I got this under control. Look, he yanks him right off his motorcycle and then punches him right across the face. All right. I got to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell you the truth about this story, about this comic book. I'm not, ordinarily I don't criticize other people's work, especially, comic skaters. I don't want to do that. I don't want to say bad things about what other people have done. Their hard work. I think that's just out of line. This is this is like one of the best comics I've seen in a long time. This is great. This is great. Mitch, pick up the pace. This is a fabulous comic book. This is an incredible comic book. Get it done, pal. I can see where the time went. Some people are going to look at this and they're going to say, look, the lines are a little bit sketchy. It's the details. No. This is a beautifully done comic book. And, hooray. Absolutely fantastic. Check out Blade Devil at past 100K. Yeah, I heard about that. Everyone's doing great right now. That is his style. Like Mitch's style of drawing is kind of like old-fashioned adventure newspaper strip. You get a brush, you keep it nice and simple. It's beautiful drawing. And when you're reading it, a good comic will suck you right in. You're reading it, you're involved in it. It's immersive. You believe the world that you're in. I mean, Mitch is creating. Let me look at this again. Mitch, look at, oh, sorry. I don't want to give too much of this away. I just wanted to give it a little taste. Look at this. Mitch is creating an immersive world. I believe this world. I absolutely believe it. I believe this guy. At no point, like I actually fell out of the fact that this is a comic. Look at these beautiful trees that he drew here. Look at this nice, fantastic layout. Everything is historically accurate. Look at the trains here, making sure that everything looks like it's period. It's of its time. Great action sequence here. Really, really good action. Yeah. It's great, man. This is great, Mitch. Congratulations. This is really, really terrific. We got to get this finished and get this out. This deserves an award of some kind. If only the comic book industry gave awards and gave awards based on merit. That would be nice. But this action sequence is berserk. I'm gonna look at this for a second here. We've got a nice kind of slight Dutch angle here. We can see all the way back into the distance. It's completely unbuilt up. This looks like it's old. You know, the 1930s. There's not a lot of industrialization here. Everything's off the ground. Look at this. It's moving. How do you draw a car? How do you draw a car in motion? You know what I mean? Without speed lines. And there are no speed lines here. He's not using any speed lines. Speed lines are kind of old-fashioned. When I was, I used to use speed lines a lot when I was drawing Impulse, obviously. And Frank Whiteley, when he was drawing New X-Men, he said, it's old-fashioned. We don't do that. We don't use speed lines. And, you know, he did New X-Men, where these characters seemed to just be sitting there. Because there were no speed lines, you had to really work on your figures and make them look like they were alive and in motion. You did whatever you could do with just the way you drew something to make it look like it was moving without the cheat of those speed lines. You know, other artists would sit there and find, the perspective point, which would be about right here, the vanishing point, and then just, do speed lines coming out everywhere to make it look like this was going even faster. That's kind of a manga thing. But Mitch is able to create incredible motion and dynamism, and just keep everybody. It's a still drawing. Man, it's just alive. It's absolutely alive. Look at this guy. Look at this guy, like just falling out of the sidecar. It's moving so fast. And yeah, terrific job. Well, I don't know if Red Rooster is still available, if it's still funding, but if you didn't back it, I feel pretty happy that I backed it right now. I love good comics. Absolutely love good comics. And that is a great comic. If you backed it, then I guess you've got the first 24 pages of the comic in your email right now, and you can read it. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Look, there are always going to be people who say, yeah, look, it took too long, and the other guys got their books out, before Mitch did. I guess that's one way of looking at it. But I mean, the truth of the matter is, when it's finished and it's in your hands and it's good and it's not a piece of shit, then you're going to hopefully forget about how long it took to get to you and just know that this was a journey for Mitch. A lot of people don't even finish their comics at all. I was looking at Icarus and the Sun the other day. Icarus and the Sun on Indiegogo raised nearly $600,000, and I supported it. I think I even backed it. I can't remember if I backed it. I feel like I backed it, but I promoted it, and I was excited that somebody else, even though they weren't comicsgate. This is where I learned. This is where I picked up my own brand of ethics. My own standards. Supported Gabriel Piccolo and his book, Icarus and the Sun. And, the moment that it ended, its first run beat Cyberfrog's first run. And he called me evil. He said, the evil has been defeated. People were saying, wow, you beat Cyberfrog. He's like, the evil's been defeated. I was like, shit. Doesn't pay to promote people. It doesn't pay to promote people who are not aligned with you, I guess. Not these days, not when you're comicsgate. Yeah, that guy hated CG. I guess he did. At least he hated me. I wouldn't have, would I have supported him? I want to support good comics. I don't know if this is a good comic. It's a little gay. Let me look at it. Hold on a second here. I actually was reading it. The few pages that he's got up right now. I think it's for girls. When I say it's kind of gay, I mean it's for girls. Maybe you'll like it. Let's have a look here. This is Icarus and the Sun, the forbidden love story of Icarus and the Sun by Gabriel Piccolo. Gabriel Piccolo. If you look at his little drawing, he looks a little like something George Pussianopoulos would have done of himself. It's George Pussianopoulos' self-portrait. Hello, I am Gabriel Piccolo, a Brazilian illustrator and comic book artist known for my Teen Titans fan art and Icarus and the Sun, the theme of this campaign. All right, that's good. We can look at the updates here, and we can see that he's done 6 updates in the last year. Probably not a lot, probably not very many, probably not enough to make people happy. Where's the art that I was looking at before? Okay, so here it is. You got a little girl, and she's the sun, and this is Icarus, and Icarus, he has wings, and he sits next to the little girl, and their love is so toxic that it leaves his wings melted, it leaves him burned, he walks away. The sun goes out. They hurt each other. Look at this. Her light goes out. His wings melt off. And she sits there naked. She combs her hair. And she becomes the beautiful sun again. Well, what happened to him? What happened to him? All right. So this book, is there any more? So Icarus, are you telling me that you fell in love on a dare? Yes. I mean, no. I didn't fell for her there yet. We stayed there waiting for her ex to show up, and then we talked. We talked our mouths off. She wanted to roast her ex for leaving her, and I just longed for that kind of connection. A perfect match. This is gay. You're a really good kisser. Thanks. You're a really good listener. Thanks, I guess. I mean it. It's not like you're just waiting for your turn to talk. Some people take that for granted. Wow, it's a love for the ages. It's a love for the ages. I never thought about that before. I never thought that there are some people who listen instead of just waiting for their turn to talk. Nobody's ever said that before. It's a brilliant observation. Hold on a second. I got a bit lost. When did you stop faking it? I don't know. Her ex didn't come, but we never called the whole thing off. Before morning, I was in love with Sun. No, please stay a little longer. Come on. What could possibly go wrong? Well, what could go wrong is your wings could melt, but not really. Your wings won't. Your wings aren't made of wax. Your wings aren't going to melt. They're attached to your back by wax. The wings are wings. Wax wings wouldn't fly. That's not what Icarus was. His wings didn't melt. His wings didn't melt. The wax that held his wings onto his back melted because he got too close to the sun, and the wings fell off. The wings are melting. That's not what happened. The wings were fine. They just fell off. He didn't have wax wings. His wings were held on by wax. And by the way, glue might have worked better. Super glue. Maybe you could just like a belt, strap them around your chest. But his wings didn't melt. That's what I'm trying to say. Wings don't melt. If the wings were made of wax, they would not be able to fly. Wings are made of feathers. They contain feathers that have hollow tubes. They're lighter. They're very, very light. They're light and they're able to capture air. You're a really good kisser. Okay, so anyway, this is the book done by the guy who called me evil. Comments. I'm gonna be comic book hut for a second. This is the worst thing you could do is troll someone's comments on their Indiegogo because you sold to 1 million trillion backers and like some of them are impatient and the impatient ones leave you negative comments. Hut goes, look, everybody's turning on Ethan. All right. It is unacceptable and very unprofessional that this hasn't been released yet, or that we don't even have updates on it. It's a fully funded project, not just full, but 2,982% full. And with that in mind, he should be super dedicated to this and to us for supporting him. I feel kind of betrayed because I was a fan of his work, and this is what I get in return. If he can't dedicate himself to finish a story that we thought deserved a lot of money, almost $600,000, he might as well cancel it and return the money. At what point does Indiegogo step in and do something? Because this is ridiculous. An update every 2 weeks is a bit much in my opinion, but once a month, like every 15th of the month, feels appropriate. I'm still optimistic though. I still look forward to getting my book. I hope you stay strong and healthy during this corona mayhem, Piccolo. I wish we knew how things were going, but with every update, there's literally no information at all about this project we backed. It's been a month already since the last update. All right, let's look at how he updates his fans. Hello, dear supporters. I want to start this update with an apology. I have tried to include further information about the release date or something before sending you anything, but it has been a while, and I am aware you deserve more constant updates. I am truly sorry about it. The good news is that the progress of the book is doing really well. I am reaching the point I expected and hope to soon be done with the development part. I am also in touch with the potential suppliers so we can deliver it as fast as possible once it is ready. Unfortunately, I still do not have a precise date on when it is going to happen. I promise that as soon as I have a new estimated date, I will share it with all of you. Also, to avoid further frustration from your side, I will update you more frequently from now on, even if I do not have precise information, so all of you know what is going on. Thank you for understanding. Cheers, Piccolo. He said literally I said literally nothing. 3 paragraphs and no information. Things are going well. I am where I think I should be. I have talked to suppliers, so when it's done, you'll have it. I'll give you more of these updates. February 18th. It's a month later. No further updates, saying nothing. Oh my God. Oh, have something to say. At some point, you got to go, you know what? The book's 48 pages. I'm on page 32. I don't know. I'm doing 2 pages a week. It's going to be a while. Here's some more pages if you want to look at them. Talk to a printer. Yeah, you know. Anyway, see you later. What's a supplier? I don't know what a supplier is. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. But this is a big book, you know. People are waiting for it. I have no doubt it'll get done. It will get done. It will be shipped. But again, it's funny to do now that Cyberfrog Blood Honey is out there. And I went through the same exact thing where people are like, fuck, it's been forever. Where's the book? And it's like, it's coming. It's coming. I've been through the exact same thing. I know what it feels like. And now here we are, like Mitch Breitweiser, same thing, except the difference is this is shit. And Mitch's book looks like this. Let me just go back and forth here. All right, let's see. Where's some pages of art? This is what you're waiting a year for. It's a romance that's doomed because she's hot and his wings are not made of wax. They're not. And then you're waiting for this. See what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Mitch Breitweiser is creating a vintage superhero masterpiece. And he is. I think that's pretty obvious. I'm going to cheat and look at another page. This is goddamn awesome. This is what Mitch is making you wait for. Mitch is making you wait for this. Meanwhile, a book that made 3 times what Mitch Breitweiser brought in looks like this. I'm not showing you the whole book. I can't. Pay for it. Go buy it. I think it's still for sale. Let me check. Let me see if it's still funding. Should be. Indiegogo. I mean, you show something like this. Oh, it's closed. No, you can't even buy it even if you wanted to right now. He closed it down. He didn't leave it up. Probably because he was feeling heckled and a little bit nervous. But he closed down. He closed down his Red Rooster Golden Age. We could have gotten this to 200,000 if he had just left it up. Right now, we could have gotten it to 200,000. It is closed. All right. So, what am I saying? I'm saying patience is a virtue. I guess that's what I'm saying. If you backed Red Rooster, and a lot of you did, this is, excuse my language, this is freaking awesome. It's a cross between freaking and friggin'. Freaking war campaign, I told you. This is freaking awesome. The sidecar. Nice Triumph motorcycle. You've got everyone's in costume. Look at the police. Look at this nice vintage paddy wagon. This all takes time and research, and it really is marking and acting. This is an incredible amount of talent and skill, and you guys, he's working his heart out, and he is. He's working his heart out, making Red Rooster the singular work of his life, and at the same time, he's got Allegiance Arts with Elizabeth. He's got that at Walmart. I think it's great. Here's the thing I'd like to say. It's great that Mitch gave us 24 pages to look at, because now I think it's pretty clear what's going on. It's just fucking awesome. It's a masterpiece happening here. This is one of the really, this is when DC Comics was really good. They read like this. Man, oh man. All right. I'm going to read your super chats, and then we're going to get back to this, because we're going to talk about the absolute disastrous decline of the comic book industry today, and what we can do about it, what we are doing about it, because Comicsgate stands strong through all of this. Comicsgate is strong. We are doing great work. Everybody is, everybody's kind of kicking ass. And I think our model survives COVID. I think it does. I think it survives. In fact, I think it actually flourishes. We're able to still make comics. There's no big offices. Everybody's an individual. We market our comic books over the computer. Guess what? Everybody's home right now. They're in front of their computers. I think we're in a good position. As long as the U.S. Post Office is still working, and it is. They just came by and picked up all the J. Lee Wrecked Planet posters from the Second Chance Chromium Cyberfrog campaign. Hunter's upstairs boxing up all of the orders from that Second Chance campaign. Those are going to go out Monday. We're fulfilling our campaigns on time, by the way. No more delays. Everything is coming out on time. That is a promise. Andrea said, you told those people you're going to get Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet to them by Christmas. I said, and I am. I am going to do it. You're going to see a lot less of me. I'm going to be doing fewer live streams and videos. I'm going to be down in my basement. I'm going to be drawing nonstop. This thing's coming out on time. We are not missing a deadline ever again. How can we? The comic book industry is collapsing all around us. We've got people waiting for comics. We have an opportunity, a rare opportunity handed to us. I'm feeling great. I am not sick yet. I hope I don't get sick, but just in my heart, emotionally, when it comes to Cyberfrog, am I motivated right now? I am a motivated mother effer. I am excited to be doing comics. I'm excited about Cyberfrog. I have plans. I have goals. I have schemes. I have a whole story that I need to tell. And I ain't getting any younger. It's got to be told now. Charlie's London says, Yan wants more music streams to sing along with you. That music stream was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. I haven't sung in so long. Aaron Olson says, E-Jack show ended before my super chat was read. I'm sorry about that. Here's my question. I got the honeycomb set and the Ides cover, but I'd like the chicken box without refunding. What's the best course of action? Okay, do not refund your Ides cover. Whatever you do, do not refund your Ides of March cover because you won't be able to reback it. It's gone. If you refund it, you're done. Right now, you're locked in. What is your best course of action? How about a box-only tier? Now we're just shipping the shipping containers. Can you imagine what these lunatics would say about me if I did that? Hey, would you like a... We're selling the shipping container. You can order the shipping container all by itself. What's the best course of action? I don't know. I don't know how to do that. Your best course of action would have been ordering 2 Ides of March covers at once. You could, you got, I don't know. I don't have a box only tier. I'm sorry. Your best bet is to just, I would wait. I would hold on and wait. The reason why I would wait is because I'm launching another 24-hour variant cover, and I'm going to do that soon. I've got 2 more items that I know I'm going to put in the campaign. Let me just show the campaign while I'm talking about it here. And thank you guys. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for continuing to back this campaign and just making it awesome. We've got a lot of people very angry at the success of Cyberfrog Blood Honey or Cyberfrog Wreck Planet. I don't know why. Why would you be angry about this? This is a good thing. So here's what we're going to do, guys. We are going to launch 2 more items for this campaign. The first one is going to be a new variant cover by me. It's going to be a more heroic variant cover. It's going to be a lot of fun. It is going to have some surprise characters on it. The cover is going to be a little bit of a spoiler, but too bad. We're going to do it. All right, so that's going to happen. It's going to be a 24-hour cover. And then the other thing that we're going to do is we're making a children's book. Now, a lot of people are telling me, look, my kids love Cyberfrog. I'm a parent. I got kids at home. They love Cyberfrog. And of course they love Cyberfrog. He's the most appealing looking new character in comics right now. Kids want to know more about this frog. Well, all right. I would say that Cyberfrog is aimed at people in between the ages of, say, 11 and like 100. Okay. It's for grown-ups, more or less, and bigger kids. But what about getting your 5-year-old into Cyberfrog? What about creating something for an 8-year-old? Well, why not do a storybook? And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to produce a Cyberfrog storybook that's aimed at kids. That's for kids. It's going to be a hardcover. It's going to have a spine on it. It's going to be, it's going to look like a Dr. Seuss book. It's not going to be a Dr. Seuss book. It's not going to be rhymey or anything. It's going to be a little story. Without violence or anything like that, without blood and gore, without bees eating people's flesh. It's going to be about being a hero. It's going to be about things that you can do to be a hero. It's going to introduce your kids to Cyberfrog Heather Salamandroid. It's going to be fun. So I'm going to put that up. I guess my overall model here with Cyberfrog, just overall, is to capture the hearts and minds of everyone with Cyberfrog. We got to get kids started young with this character so that when they turn 11, 12, 13, they want to read about the bee invasion. They want to read about the Vespis. You can hand them over. You can let them carefully touch your chromium Cyberfrog comics. Wear gloves. Do not get fingerprints on it. So I'm going to do a little Cyberfrog storybook. I've been planning on doing this for about a year now. I had a talk with a friend who said, really, you could consider getting Cyberfrog storybooks out there for kids that will go in Walmart, go in Target, things like that. If you just do stories about Cyberfrog saving kittens from trees, for example, even though he's not going to do that, just make it for kids, and you'll do well. I think that's a great idea. And again, scrambling for creative ideas. Things to put into our crowdfunded campaigns that are exciting, that are original, that are new. We're going to do that now. So for the question about, how do I get a honeycomb box? And not a honeycomb box, a chicken box. What is a chicken box? You should, again, storyteller, Ethan, tell everybody what you're talking about. This is the chicken fry shipping box. Now, I will say, Doug Tenaple. Now, my original idea was to ship Rainbow Brute, in a lunchbox, like a tin lunchbox. I thought that would be really, really cool. We were talking to manufacturers in Japan who were going to make the Cyber Frog or the Rainbow Brute lunchbox briefcase container. We're still going to do that, by the way. Rainbow Brute, we're launching that at the end of the year. We're still going to do the lunchbox briefcase thing out of aluminum. But in the meantime, Doug TenNapel shipped his Earthworm Jim campaign in a box. And it looked kind of like this. I think it was bigger. It was like a bigger box. And it had Earthworm Jim art printed on it. And I thought that was great. And not only that, the fans really, really liked it. In fact, every review that I saw for Doug TenNapel's Earthworm Jim didn't even mention the comic book. They were so enthralled with the box that it came in. Doug's fans. So happy with the box. You ever give your kid a toy, big expensive toy, and all they do is play with the box that it came in? Those are Earthworm Jim fans. They love the box. They absolutely love the box. All right, so I said, that's great. We should do something like that as well and just create a shipping container. A shipping container that is fun and immersive. It's part of the world. Everything that we do, we want to make it part of the world of Cyberfrog so that you can enter it as much as you can. Let's make it as real as possible. Heather Swain works for a fast food restaurant called Chicken Fry. That's where she works. She's saving up for a car, or she was saving up for a car in the 90s. And she would bring Cyberfrog chicken from Chicken Fry. Now you can get a replica of a fast food takeout, chicken fry box that has been repurposed to contain and ship Cyberfrog comics. Now it's great. People are thrilled about this. As you can see, this is what the box is going to look like. You open it up. There's another label on the inside. It's printed on the inside. See this right here? This kind of unfolds and unwraps, and your books are protected underneath this. But this is a little foam overlay that's going to go right here that makes it look like when you open the box, there is delicious fried chicken inside. Sorry, there isn't. There's just delicious frog comics. Now, the way that you get this box is you order 2 books or more. So if you order 2 copies of something, you would get they would be shipped in this box to you. Order 2 books or more, and your perks will be shipped in this replica of the takeout boxes from the fast food restaurant that Heather Swain used to work at after school, and Cyberfrog's favorite place to eat. Chicken Fry. Your books will be protected by a foam layer with this delicious looking image of fried chicken to complete the fun. Note, these are shipping containers, no guarantee that they'll arrive in mint condition, but they're pretty durable and tough. Now, I said that, and you guys went, whoa, we want our chicken boxes to be in mint. So I had to talk to Andrea about this. Andrea got a whole bunch of messages from you guys about this. People say, what is comicsgate about? The first thing that comicsgate is about, for priority 1, is listening to the customers. What are the customers saying? What do the customers want? All right, so you have to keep your promises to them, but also just listen to them. Everyone wants their chicken fry box package to show up undamaged. I mean, it's like, okay. Hey, everyone, we're hearing from a lot of backers and potential backers that are so enamored of the chicken box package that 2 or more individual comics are being shipped in, that they're concerned about getting the box shipped in mint condition. They want to keep the chicken box. I mean, the chicken box is meant to be thrown away, I guess. It is. But you can keep it if you want to. Initially, the box was designed as a clever shipping container, nothing more. But people are starting to eye it as a unique collectible. You don't want the USPS kicking it around and destroying it. You want to keep it. I actually, in another live stream, I accused the mailman of fucking it. I said, you don't want him to fuck your box. You don't want that. People said, no, I don't want that. All right, so this is a concern. Okay, All Caps Comics is listening. We hear you. We're discussing ways to package your chicken box in another container to keep it, to keep it safe. So it has a better chance of arriving safely. We're going to actually put the box in a box. It might be placed in a priority mailbox. I think that's where we're going right now. We're looking at a priority mailbox or shrink wrapped or something like that. But we want you to know that we hear your concerns, and we're going to take steps to make sure your chicken boxes have a much better chance of arriving in hot and fresh condition. That is Comicsgate. That's what Comicsgate's supposed to be. We actually listen to you. We take steps to address your concerns and to give you what you want. And of course, it's clear now the chicken boxes are a big hit. So we just wait. We're going to do at least two more products. And also, at 500,000, if we get there, we're going to release a calendar. There's going to be a calendar. And the calendar is just going to go into the Executive Honeycomb box set. It's going to be a free perk for, not free, it's an additional thing in the Executive Honeycomb box set. Now, if you back the Executive Honeycomb box set, just sit back. Everything that we launch, including the children's book, is going to be in this box. You're getting every variant cover that we do from here on out. You're getting everything that we do. Everything we produce or offer will be in the box set, plus things that are exclusively for you. The calendar, as of now, there are no plans to make that actually available on the market. It's just going to go in the box set. The calendar is going to have artwork from greats, from Kelsey Shannon, from John Malin, from Carl O'Neill, Carl O'Rowe, both of the Carl O's. We got both of the Carls in there. It's going to have artwork from, let me see, who else is doing artwork for this thing? Let me think. Everyone in the whole world. Andrew Huerta is going to be in there. Kanan White is going to be in there. Rob Willis is going to be in there. And me, I'm going to be in there too. Don't you worry about it. Narwhal will be in there. Thank you. Narwhal will be in there. Everybody, all of the greats of Comicsgate are going to have a page. You can stare at their Cyberfrog artwork for an entire month in the year 2021. And that's what we're going to do. All right, let me get back to Super Chats here and see what you guys are saying. Force Ghost Fabio says, Red Rooster is worth the wait. Love you, Caesar. Fabio time? Maybe. We might do some Fabio today. No plans. So we have a lot to talk about. I got a lot of stories lined up. Dillard Draw says, isn't Mitch the guy that didn't fulfill and took off with everyone's money like a year ago? The fuck is this? Dillard Draw, Mitch hasn't fulfilled yet. It's not like he didn't fulfill and took off with the money. He's been working on Red Rooster. And as you can see, Red Rooster looks phenomenal. So I wouldn't say that he took off with the money. He just hasn't fulfilled yet, and he intends to, and I think he will. Michael Green says the legendary Black Flag returns April 25th, 2020. Return of the King. Fragaboom. Hail to the King, baby. Powered by Mountain Dew and titty milk. Lick it up. A lot of people are excited about Dan Fraga. Dan Fraga's Born Again Comicsgate like nothing I've ever seen before. He's on Twitter. I had a talk with him. He said, why is Richard Pace this way? And I said, because he's an asshole, but also because he's a social justice warrior. And you sitting there trying to appeal to him, trying to get through to him, trying to explain things to him logically. This is the thing about social justice warriors. He has no interest in changing his mind. If you said, no, Comicsgate's a good thing, and this is why, and you had a great argument, and even he knew that you were right, he still would not be able to change his mind, because Richard Pace changing his mind means that he would have to go back to all of the friends that he's made, all the allies, not even friends, allies that he's lined up, all the Renfamouses, all of the Tim Doyles, all of these pussies, all of these complete and total monsters. And he would have to tell them that he has changed his mind. And he knows what's in it for him when he does that. He knows what he's in for. He is going to be persecuted, tortured. He's going to be reprogrammed, beaten, abused. And look, he's got nothing else right now. His comic sucks. His art sucks. He hasn't fulfilled his Kickstarter. He doesn't have a fan base. His job is full-time thorn. His job is full-time pain in the ass. That is his job right now to Comicsgate. His job is full-time internet bully and harasser to Comicsgate. So what else is he going to do? You can't change his mind. SJWs are stuck where they are. Just don't even talk to them. Don't try to change their minds. They are only trying to get you to agree with them. And that they can do pretty quickly because they'll threaten you and coerce you. They will use emotional manipulation tactics. So ultimately, I just told Dan, just don't talk to them. Don't talk to these people. It's ridiculous. All right. Caffeinated Wolf says, get wrecked. Danny Rendon says, you mentioned Mags messaged you the other day, but I missed the story. What did she want? Is she trying to be Comicsgate? Oh, okay. Hold on a second. We can talk about Mags for a little while. Hang on. All right. So these SJWs, and this is going to be part of the story that we're telling today. This is going to be part of part of the show. Social justice warriors know the comic book industry is dead, or it's dying now. This is it. The collapse of comics is imminent. And how do I feel about that? How do I feel about being right? Well, first of all, in the sense that it's the doom of the comic book industry has been expedited by COVID. I wasn't expecting that. Nobody could have anticipated that, but it doesn't matter. This was going to happen anyway. This was in the cards just because comics are not selling. They're unsellable. They're unreturnable. They're made by woke frauds who do not create things that people want to buy. And comic stores are closing down. But not only that, the world is changing. People don't want to go to comic book stores anymore. They go to comic book stores out of a sense of obligation. It's much easier to just order something and have it shipped to your house. That's what the internet has done. The internet has thoroughly changed the landscape of the way Americans interact with each other and do business, the way the world interacts with each other and does business. So the old style, brick and mortar, it's just not, it's not, as they say, as people say about comicsgate, it's not sustainable. It isn't sustainable because people are changing the way that they shop. Okay. And me personally, when I want to buy something, I go on eBay. When I want to buy something, I go to Amazon.com. When I want to buy a comic, I find it on eBay and I find the best price. I find the condition that I'm looking for. That's how I do it. So in any case, COVID has really changed things. And these guys know. Social justice warriors, one thing they're terrified of, one thing they really do not want me to do is dance on their graves. They don't want me to celebrate this. They don't want me to cheer on the collapse of the comic book industry that they've destroyed. They're worried that I'm going to do that because they think that's who I am. That's not who I am. I'm not excited about the death of the comic book industry at all. But this comic book industry has wanted to die now for about 6 years. It's wanted to. You can tell that it's wanted to die because of the choices that it's been making. The people inside of it, the choices that they've been making on behalf of the comic book industry. These people are not listening to customers. They're not creating product that people want. It has been an unwelcoming environment for anyone who is not a far leftist or who is willing to keep their mouth shut. Because you're supposed to speak your politics. You're supposed to talk about all of your ideological crap as loud as you can when you're a leftist. There are no professional ethics. Everybody should basically be, keep it. Let's not talk. Let's talk about selling comics. Let's talk about superheroes. That should be everyone's attitude, but it isn't. Everyone's attitude is Trump sucks. If you're a Republican, you're a Nazi. And it's driving customers away. Everyone's gay. Everyone's every character's woke. We're gonna elevate these marginalized creators to positions they haven't earned or deserve. And they're going to create crap that isn't going to sell, but we're all going to feel good about ourselves. The comic book industry has wanted to die for a long time. And over the past 7 days, it has written its own suicide note. And we'll talk about that today. We're going to talk about the suicide note of Marvel Comics. Absolutely ridiculous. The arrogance of these people. The arrogance of these people. All right, so we're going to do that. Mags Visaggio reached out to me in private, and she also reached out to your boy Zach. And Mags said, let me see here. Maybe I can actually find it and read it. God almighty. I don't care. You know what? If I were doing this and if I were reading DMs from somebody who I loved, this would be an outrage. I did not ask to be messaged by Mags Visaggio. This was an unwelcome, uninvited message from Mags Visaggio, and therefore, I do not respect her privacy. How do you like that? I'm going to go ahead and read her messages to you guys. Mags Visaggio wrote to me and said, "Hi, Ethan. I want you to think about the arrogance of this for a minute. I want you to think about the arrogance and craziness of these people. the pomposity of it all as I read this. We're just comic book creators. We're hot dog vendors. We're hot dog vendors. I'm not here to change the world. You guys aren't going to listen to anything I say unless it's entertaining. I'm here to entertain you. In return for which you buy my comics. Thank you. The idea that I am I'm a social engineer. I am a leader who can change the way people think, behave, or act. Really bothers me. And there are people who believe that that's true of me, and people who feel that that's true of them. They feel like they are leaders out there. I think most of these comic book people think they're professional or think they're celebrities. Comic book professionals do think they're celebrities. They do think they're better than you. Well, I'm better than them. So imagine. Imagine where that puts me. All right, here's Mags. Mags says, hi, Ethan. Hi, Ethan. I want to talk to you about calling a timeout on the culture war so we can fight coronavirus. I'm sorry, what? What? The lovely Mags Visaggio. Hi, Ethan. I want to talk to you about calling a timeout on the culture war. Timeout, culture war, timeout. So we can fight coronavirus. All right, now listen to me, you crazy bitch. I am not actively doing anything. I'm actively selling Cyberfrog and talking about how I feel about things. I can't stop doing that. I can't stop being me. I can't stop talking about the things that I believe. I'm not fighting the culture war. If I am, I'm not fully aware of it. I'm aware there are culture warriors. I'm aware that I am in the culture war. But this isn't a phony thing that I'm putting on. I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I'm just trying to sell frog comics. Fucking nut. What am I gonna do? I talk about what's on my mind all the time. That's what I do. Very rarely do I talk about Mags Visaggio. Now I have to talk about Mags Visaggio because you wrote me this crazy fucking DM. Craziness. All right, so we're gonna fight coronavirus. Coronavirus is gonna kick our ass. There's no fighting coronavirus. It's coming. Stay in your house. Don't touch people. That's how to fight coronavirus. Here's what I'm doing to fight coronavirus. I'm going to stay in my house. I'm going to make videos making fun of you. And people are going to watch the videos. And therefore, there's going to be social distancing. Social distance. People watching my videos making fun of you. I guess that's fighting the culture war somehow. And I'm going to be fighting coronavirus that way. Eventually, we're all probably going to get sick. Doesn't matter. We'll get over it. There are ways you can use. Hold on, let me get back at my mag. There are ways you can use the spotlight and audience you built to keep people calm, entertained during periods of social distancing and quarantine, and hopeful during the difficult days ahead. Okay, here's what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to actually talk about what's going on. I'm not going to lie to people. I'm not. The only beacon of hope that I offer is Cyberfrog. I'm not going to lie to people about what you bitches have done. You guys have destroyed the comic book industry. A lot of people. This is it. This is it. It's all going down now. We're talking about like 6, 7, 8 weeks. You're going to see some craziness going on in the comic book industry right now. You're going to see it. I don't want to keep people calm. I want to keep people laughing at you. Hopeful during the difficult days ahead. And then we get this. This is the one thing that SJWs always do. I can't stand this. When they're trying to run you down, when they're trying to manipulate you, these people who do not know what superheroes are. You guys do not, Max, you don't fucking understand what a superhero is. You don't know. I could sit there and I could tell you what Superman is, who Superman is. You have no idea who Superman is. Your comics are about crazy people hitting other people in the teeth with bass guitars. Your comics are about lunatic transgender people with pink hair, wearing fuchsia costumes, bashing the brains out of other people with blunt objects. That is entirely what your comics are about. My comic's about a frog. My comic book is about a frog. One frog who tries to love humanity. Humanity doesn't love him back. And he's been placed in a situation where he is up against impossible odds to save the people who don't love him. It's kind of autobiographical. Kind of. That's a superhero story. That's about self-sacrifice. It's about friendship. It's about loyalty. It's about love. It's about having a duty. Not a duty, like a D-U-T-Y, duty to mankind, to your friends, to your family. Loyalty, honor, respect. I don't know what you guys are doing. I have no idea what you guys are doing. And then you give me this speech here. You say the one thing I think we all share in common is a love for superheroes and their resilience and dedication to the common good and as symbols of hope. Okay. You don't know what a superhero is. None of you people understand what superheroes are. I have not read a story about unselfishness. I have not read a story about self-sacrifice for many of you people. You people do not understand resilience, dedication to the common good, and symbols of hope. I honestly don't think you even know what you're talking about. Your superhero stories are horrible. And there have been no classic SJW superhero comics. You have produced zero comics that would inspire anyone to do anything. None of you people know how to make you don't know how to. We share zero in common. We have nothing in common. I'm somebody who grew up with Christopher Reeve's Superman and took the proper lessons from it. I understand who Superman is. You people don't understand who Superman is. You don't even know who Batman is. You guys don't even understand Batman. Tom King's ridiculous Batman run that was allowed to thrive during this era. You're wondering why comic book shops are closing down? Because Batman's a pussy. That's why. You guys have made Batman into a complete pussy. We don't have anything in common. I'm over here, you're over there. We have zero in common. We do not share an understanding of what superheroes are or do. I reject your notions of what protagonists in superhero comic books are, what they mean. I reject it. I denounce it. I disavow you. You selfish monsters. Self-centered, stupid idiots. Mags goes on to say, we need to be thinking very seriously about how we engage with our audiences at this time. Mags is telling me to shut up. Mags is telling me not to tell you guys the truth. Mags is telling me not to get you guys engaged with the reality that the comic book industry is about to die and they're responsible for it. Mags is saying, think very seriously about how you engage with your audience. Don't tell me how to do that. I've cultivated an incredible audience over time, an incredibly loyal audience. Mags says, the Sturm und Drang all feels so much less urgent. And I think right now, we need to be keeping people's spirits up rather than their ire. I hope you and your family are healthy. Okay, well, all right. I'm going to keep people's spirits up, Mags, like I always do. I make people laugh. I amuse people. That's why people turn into my show. Tune in, that's why people enjoy the show. So that's why I am going to do that. I'm going to keep their spirits up. The idea that I make people angry is an outrage. You make people angry. Everything that you do makes people angry. I said, hey, Mags, we're great. No touch of virus yet. 2 months worth of food and supplies. That's the Mormonism in me. Mormon stock food. Fingers crossed that we get passed over. Comicsgate is full speed ahead. Don't tell us to stop. We are full speed ahead. 2017, 2018 are over. Under my guidance, there has been no harassment and bullshit. Just working towards an optional path towards making money at this craft and building it every day. Sure, we still dunk on SJWs when we see them doing stupid shit, but it isn't the focus of Comicsgate anymore. And then Mags responds, the reason I wrote was specifically because you tweeted something about SJWs being pissed about a Cyberfrog thing. This is the way they talk. A Cyberfrog thing. No, Cyberfrog 2, Wreck Planet. Cyberfrog 2, Wreck Planet, the sequel to the biggest crowdfunded comic book of all time, which is live on Indiegogo right now. And yes, you guys are pissed about it. It's doing very, very, very well right now. Very well. Let's take a look at it real quick, shall we? Cyberfrog thing. You're doing a Cyberfrog thing. We did a thing. I did a thing. We're doing a thing. Be specific. This is called a Cyberfrog 2 Wrecked Planet. Look at this. We're really close to 390 now. Oh my gosh, dude. We're going to see 390,000 in my lifetime. $390,000. All right, 165 away from that. All right. I said, yeah, SJWs are pissed. SJWs and anti-Comicsgate are pissed about this. I have never seen such crying about anything. I have never seen such salt. It's delicious. It's delicious. Salt my French fries with your salty, salty, salty tears. Comicsgate lives. Comicsgate is strong. You'll start to notice, guys, that it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter, who leaves Comicsgate. If you leave Comicsgate, you are stepping out of a warm, comfy spacecraft into the void of space, which means half of you is going to be set on fire. The other half is going to freeze. I think that's the way science works on space. In any case, you die. You suffocate. You freeze to death, whatever. You float around into infinity. Doesn't really matter. If you're here, if you're Comicsgate, if you're with me, if you're with Zach, if you're with John Malin, if you're with Cecil, if you're with Dan Fraga, you succeed with glory. Everything goes pretty well for you. Your campaign gets funded, your book gets funded. And hooray, people like you. It doesn't matter how many people do leave. You got Doug TeNapel leaves. His campaign gets cut in half for Bigfoot Build 2. Poor Mike S. Smiller. Smiller's campaigns, it's not even funny anymore. It's sad. First it was funny. Now it's sad. Edwin Boyette. All these guys out there just talking nonstop shit, and it doesn't matter. Stay Comicsgate. Stay black. This is what we do. Okay, let's get back to the Mags Visaggio stuff here. So she says, you said something about SJWs being pissed about a Cyberfrog thing, and it just felt really like out of place for the times we're living in. I'm just asking you to think about how you can use your platform responsibly to minimize the loss of life. People are going to die if I dunk on SJWs. This is what Mags is telling me. Minimize the loss of life, she says. Mags just told me that I'm killing people. Wow. I'm not killing people. I've never killed a person. Only SJWs. Just kidding. To minimize the loss of life, these people are goddamn at it. Again, let's rewind it. We're just comic book professionals on Twitter. We have a job. Our job is to actually draw funny books or write funny books. We are not important. We're not celebrities, Mags. You might catch on to the idea that you're not a celebrity when you go to a convention and nobody comes to see you. And you sit there with a little handwritten sign that says, Eisner nominee. And it doesn't matter. Doesn't make a difference. The coronavirus is not going to see you as special. You're just a person. You're just a person. You're just a person, as I am. I'm a person too. But I have concerns. I do have this microphone, and I will use it to speak the truth, which is what I said. I said, yes, it is. It is out of step. SJWs and others are still interfering with my business. It's out of place for the times we're in. It's a global pandemic. And still people like you are trying to get Sean Gordon Murphy and Blake Northcott fired. You're bullshit. And Mag says, all right, never mind, bye, and blocks me. Just a week before, you sent me this email, Max, this little message on Twitter. You idiots had gotten together and planned to coerce DC Comics into firing Sean Gordon Murphy, canceling Sean Gordon Murphy. And I think the way it works is this. I think SJW's high up on the food chain. I mean, we're talking about large and in charge SJWs. The type that need to be transported by circus train. These people get together with other weirdos who do this. Take selfies looking like that. And these people go to DC Comics and they say, Sean Gordon Murphy is interacting with Douglas Tenaple. He's working with Doug Tenaple. Do you know what kind of guy you're giving an imprint to? You want to give Sean Gordon Murphy an imprint at DC Comics called White Knight? Pfft, Nazi. White supremacy is a spectrum. And so now I ask you, if Sean Gordon Murphy is interacting with and doing work with a guy who clearly hates trans people, as has been reported, then let's look at all the other people that Sean Gordon Murphy is trying to work with. Who's this Blake Northcott? She's friendly with comicsgate, bigots. That's like being friendly with the Klan. And these guys got together and they harassed Jim Lee and they pressured Jim Lee. And Jim Lee had to go to Sean Gordon Murphy and talk to Sean Gordon Murphy about who he's bringing over to DC Comics. These people, these bitches, and Mags is definitely a bitch. No matter Mags's gender, bitch is the only gender that matters. They tried to get Blake Northcott to not work at DC. Why? Because Blake Northcott is comicsgate friendly. She's pretty. She's a good writer. People like her. People want to like her, right? Dangerous. Likeable, pretty, attractive conservatives. Dangerous. That's why they hate me. Dangerous. These are people who can really upset their apple cart. So they tried to cancel Blake Northcott. 1 week later, Max Visaggio was telling me that I need to tone down my rhetoric so that I don't kill people during Corona. These people are crazy. I will never change a goddamn thing that I ever want to say. I'm going to say what I want to say all the time at the expense of countless lives. Countless lives. Again, I'm not fighting. I'm not actively fighting a culture war. I'm being honest. I'm talking about things that I see, that I perceive. If I were fighting a culture war, that to me suggests underhanded tactics. I don't do those. I don't do underhanded tactics. They do. So I would say, Mags, stop fucking getting people fired. Stop canceling people. Mind your own business. Mind your own business. Blake Northcott writing Catwoman, that's a really good thing for Blake Northcott and her fans. Mind your own business, you idiots. I'm going to find every single one of these people, and the minute I get any information on any of them, I will expose it. I'm going to bring all these people to light. I'm going to show you. I'm going to find. People are already kind of reaching out. Things are changing, man. The comic book industry is changing. It's not changing to the point where SJWs are more empowered, less empowered, much, much less empowered. These people are losing control. And as people reach out to me, I have information on them. I will expose all of them for who they are and what they've done to this hobby. I will expose them all, and I'll do it with honor and dignity. Very few people will die. Very few people. You know, the loss of life, the loss of lives will be kept under control. Absolutely insane. All right, so that was the Mags Visaggio thing, and I'm absolutely pissed about it. The idea that these guys, and by the way, and then she goes back to Jamal Igle. Jamal's like, I told you you'd be talking to a brick wall. You guys got together and you tried to scam me and Zach into working with you, into a fucking Hands Across America with you SJWs. Are you kidding me? I will kick each and every one of you into the deepest hole I can find. I'm not working with you ever. I don't really care. I don't care if there are nukes coming at us from the sky. I will still kick you into a hole. I'm not working with you people. You people are assholes. I have zero pity. There is no pity in my heart for social justice warriors. Any pity, any mercy I once may have had has long since died. That little spark has died. I will now destroy each and every one of you. All of you. My audience has given me power. I've got a comic book that doesn't rely on you. I've got a growing movement full of people who miss the thing that you killed. And we're bringing it back. All of you will be unemployed. All of you bitches looking at the camera going, sorry, we took over your comic book industry. Hashtag not sorry. It's over. You guys, it's over. Comicsgate's Ascendant, we're going to win. It's so great. I mean, of course we're going to win. We're the good guys. We've been the good guys all along. We are going to win. It's going to be fantastic. We can do it. This movement can do it. Other movements, maybe not. This one can do it. Comicsgate can actually do it. We're better. We're just better in every single way. All right, let's look at some. I still got to do super chats. Damn it. All right, we got a lot of super chats coming in here. Mostly, Andrew Westwater says mostly it was Anna crying about Bloodhoney being late, but then she gobshat the story over streams. Just saying, EVS, once bitten, twice spoilered. Okay. Yetna P says, get a freaking physical wire to your internet. Thanks. I have one. It's plugged in. Raging Golden Eagle says, Cyberfrog teaches kids how to be a hero. SJW comics like Ignited teach kids how to be terrorists that call themselves heroes. Captain Chokeout says, my son opened my Cyberfrog book and my ex-wife gave me a world of shit over it. I had to email about it because of the address change. Oh, no. God of Plague says, just grab me Wreck Planet and the Ash Cans. Fun. Oh, great. Oh, cool. Blackout, thanks for $1. Adam Post says, College of the Dead graduation day is doing great thanks to Comicsgate. Yeah, dude. That was fun. Like College of the Dead, was kind of stalled out. And people send me, I'm not always paying attention. I'm in my own world. I'm doing Cyberfrog. I try to be Comicsgate. I try to be Caesar of comicsgate, Caligulus. I try to do it all. Sometimes I take my eye off the ball. And in the case of College of the Dead, I kind of did. College of the Dead is one of the coolest looking zombie books ever. If you're a zombie fan, this should be a film. This should be a movie. It's got a great line where college costs you an arm and a leg. It is cool. And so anyway, we just to experiment with the magic of Comicsgate, I brought Adam Post on the stream and just started talking about College of the Dead and made like, what, $2,000 in 15 minutes? I can't complain about that, Adam. I mean, that's great. We got to get you to 5 figures, though. That's our next step. Everybody back College of the Dead graduation day whenever you can. Do it now. Look at this, man. He's got hot chicks getting eaten by zombies. More hot chicks being harassed by zombies. This is what it's all about. The cover, the artwork is just fantastic. It really is nice. And these books are so fun. I read the first one that was in black and white. This one's in color. Adam, you are a prince among men. Very proud of you. This book's great. We'll be promoting this again today, probably. I'm doing a long live stream. I'm going to be sitting here talking most of the day, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Apex Comics says, I wish Mitch will fulfill before Comicsgate Con. Oh, that'll be good. Yeah. Comicsgate Con, by the way, still scheduled. Nothing's changed really for us at all. I'm still shipping my comics. I'm still planning on, and as far as I know, I'll be able to print everything. I am cutting a check. I was just paid for, they just dispersed the money for the Cyberfrog Unforgettable Tales into my account. I don't know if it's there yet. They disperse it. It takes like 3 or 4 days. But I will be cutting a check to make those books. And as far as I know, there's no problem printing those books. So nothing's changed. And Comicsgate Con is still happening. We're still going to do it. That's next May. We planned it. How fortunate. Like, everything goes our way. How fortunate is it? It's like, do we want to do a convention? Yeah, we do. Imagine if we had planned a convention for this year. We would have had to cancel it. That would have been it. But we said, no, we're going to do it in May of 2021. God willing, everything's going to be okay by then. I really do think it will be. We'll still be able to get together May of 2021. Have a big party in Orlando, Florida. Comicsgate Con, Fandom Menace, Weeb Wars, any of those things, guys. If you're a part of any of those movements, make plans. May of 2021, we're going to be in Orlando, Florida together. I'm going to have a date nailed down for you soon. Talking about getting the appropriate venue. My question was, what if? Okay, so we're planning on, well, maybe let's plan for something small so we're not disappointed. Let's plan for 500 people to show up. We'll get all of the pros, all of the creators to come, all the YouTube creators to come. Everybody will be there signing autographs for you, meeting you, entertaining you, hanging out with you, all that stuff. But what if it gets bigger than that? What if we get more than 500 people? What do we do? And I'm told that the venues that are being looked at are going to be, because they're going to be we're going to choose a hotel. Okay. We're going to have a lot more space. So if it does get bigger, if it turns out that we have more than 500 people coming to the show, we'll be able to expand the size of the show. And ideally, we want to get to the point where there is a whole extra room that is nothing but Artist Alley. And it's a first come, first serve Artist Alley. You guys, if you want to sell your books, it's free. It's free. You're going to get a table. We'll have a limited number of spots for you, but first come, first serve, reserve your spot. Bring your books as long as you can prove you were published. You can sit there, sell your merch, sell your comics, promote yourself. I think it's going to do more than 500. Apex Comics says there'll be at least 2,000 people or more. Now, that would be an incredible success. But that really isn't smart regardless. What? The deputy, I don't really understand. 3K people, possibly. I mean, again, that would be great. Let's plan for it to be regular size, and then we're crowdfunding it. So we're going to know how big the convention is before we even really put things in cement. We could get celebrities. We could get a few celebrities there. You were talking about William Shatner. We have a key. We have an in with William Shatner's agent, so we can get William Shatner to come and be a celebrity there to sign autographs, or do whatever. We can get him to get him to sing a song. Yeah, sure. So we'll see how it goes. Okay. All right. The jab. Oh, here's the jab. You guys seriously could get sick. This isn't going to go away anytime soon. I know we're, look, as of right now, I think planning for May of 2021 seems like something that we could do. But we'll see. We'll see how it is. By the way, think about this. This is an election year. Think about if people are still social distancing and stuff during the voting process. This whole thing's going to be weird, man. We're living in weird times. We are living in weird times. If we can get Bill Shatner to sing Rocket Man, that would be worth it. Yeah. Let's see. By the time May 2021 rolls around, you'll be displacing MegaCon at the Orange County Convention Center. Well, I kind of said that. I kind of said, what if it gets really big? Do we get a convention center? We'll see. We'll see how this all goes. But I mean, here's the thing: we're going to go a whole year without conventions. There are going to be no comic conventions in 2020. They've all been canceled. This is part of the death of the comic book industry. I don't think that people's interest in comics is going to go away. But man, this is catastrophic. It really, really is. All right, we'll get to that again. All right, so Zebulon Pike says it makes sense for the executive box, not the chicken box. Well, people still want the chicken box. Jason P says, will you be hosting a cash grab closeout stream tonight? Oh, maybe we will. Also, any idea when we will see the John Malin Cecil Pete cover? Where is Kelsey? I don't know where Kelsey is. I'm sure that the Cecil Pete cover will be done soon. And I can't wait to see it. I really want to see Kelsey draw John Malin. Toxic Man Baby says Blade Devil reached 6-figure yesterday. Hail Caesar. Congrats, Raging Golden Eagle, who says if they want a timeout on the culture war, all they have to do is stop attacking us. Why is that so hard? Yeah, here's the thing. I mean, I consider myself a culture warrior. I know I'm in the culture war. I don't know if I'm actively fighting the culture war, except I think, what am I trying to do? Create a sanctuary within the culture war? But it's I'm about ready to just turn it all around and just fight and be like, no, I'm blasting you bitches. You can't just do that to Blake Northcott. You can't just do that to Sean Gordon Murphy. They didn't do anything wrong. You want to come after me? You want to come after Zach? Look, we're making videos. We're critics. We're critical. Blake didn't do anything to you. That at that point, you're just canceling people for ideological reasons. It's stupid. All right. TJ Swan says, you have said you're fighting a culture war. I'm definitely in the culture war. John Burningstone says, how to fight C-word virus. Don't walk around with an open dilated wound on your crotch. Trav Avis says, hey, Ethan, I am an artist leaving the Navy soon due to disability and looking to work drawing comics without being involved with soulless corporations like Marvel, DC, or Image. How do I begin? Okay. A lot of people are asking that question right now. You have to take the initiative to put your comic book together. You're an artist. You need a writer. Create a comic book and start showing it around Twitter. This is all about social media. Doing a comic book right now via comicsgate is all about social media, guys. You have to make friends with people, make connections, and put your work out there. Let people see your work. And then it's all crowdfunding. But Comicsgate will help you. If you're Comicsgate, use the hashtag. That's the best way for us to find you. Use the hashtag Comicsgate. Show your artwork and use the hashtag Comicsgate. We will find you. And you can add us all you want as well. All right. So for example, this is kind of what I did. Ethan Van Skyver Cyberfrog 2 Wreck Planet is currently going into ending its first week. Tomorrow at noon, the first 7 days will be up. And we just passed $390,000. Thank you, guys. That's fantastic. Yay. It's craziness. It stops being real. My dad's like, well, like, my dad was talking to me. He's like, you're going to make $1 million. I'm like, I don't know, Dad, but you know what this is? Like, it's not even real money. It's running up a score. I see this as a score. It's like, I want the high score. Of course, it becomes real money when I'm actually writing checks and paying taxes. But, this number kind of lasts forever. Thank you guys. $390,000 in the first 6 days. I'm sure this is the biggest campaign. It's got to be. How could it be bigger than this? How could anything be bigger than this? Craziness. Okay, let me see here. TJ Swan says, but you've said you're fighting a culture war. You're playing both sides, says TJ Swan. Then own it. Own you're fighting the culture war. Stay righteous. Stop pretending you're not who you are. TJ Swan says, now we're talking. Hail Caesar victorious. Fuck them. TJ Swan says, how can you be Caesar and not Caesar? All right, I'm Caesar guy. I'm whoever you say I am. I'm Uncle Ethan. I'm Caesar. I'm Ethan Van Sciver. I'm a comic book professional and a YouTuber who's pretty angry at what's going on in comics and what's going on in the culture. And I'm adding my voice to it. I'm trying to organize a method so that people who have been canceled from comics, people who cannot work in comics the way that they used to work in comics, can work in comics again. That's what I'm trying to build with others. The same organization, the same network that I'm building will also help people who are trying to break into comics. That it'll make that process easier for them. So that's my goal. I guess that's fighting the culture war. I just see, what they're doing as an active effort to hurt people. I think I'm my part of the culture war. When I fight the culture war, I guess I'm taking an active effort to help people. I'm actively trying to build something to help people, not to hurt. Comicsgate doesn't hurt anyone. What they do hurts people. What the social justice warriors do is they hurt people. Comicsgate's actually the ultimate goal of Comicsgate will help a lot of people. So I think that's where I stand. 200 Watt Studio says, check bless this mess and Bitcoin, please. I don't care about, these guys. 200 Watt Studio says, why did you internet gas us? Damn you, internet gas. 200 Watt Studio says, Mags is trying to internet gaslight you. Well, that's what SJWs do. Brian says, Andrea, bring this man a sandwich. He's working up an appetite. Splendopia says, hashtag not sorry. Hatch450SX says, here comes martial law. Get ready, EVS, 2 weeks minimum. You think so? You think we're going to hit martial law? Brian says, Comicsgate is the hot chick and the zombies are SJW. Zay Comics says, thanks to Comicsgate, we're signing all the Magic Cop books today. Right now is the perfect time to order the book off Indiegogo. So excited for CG Con. Hail. Charlie's London says, looks like we might have to postpone our wedding. So if we have to have you sing Last Piece of George for us for our first dance at Comicsgate Con, well, I would do that. That would be fun. Get a nice baby grand piano there. Yeah, a lot of people are saying crazy stuff like martial law, like enforced quarantine. Like you can't leave your house. It's illegal to leave your house. I think in some parts of the country that might actually be going on. And Hunter was planning on driving to Virginia to see some friends this weekend. I said, you're not going anywhere. If things had been going properly, pre-virus, Zach, Cecil, and others, Dan Fraga, they were all coming up here to hang out with me. We were going to Atlantic City to just have a good time, play cards, drink, talk about the future, talk about Comicsgate. That got canceled. Everybody had to refund their tickets. I would have taken a picture of, with Zach doing this. Sorry, we took over the comic book industry. And we would have tweeted that out. Now we can't do that. It's very, very sad. Eric July's in here, really? Hi, Eric. Young Rippa. Good to see you. Bad stuff's going on right now. It's absolutely ridiculous. Bleeding Cool posted this article today. Now, here's the thing. Actually, they posted this article a couple days ago. Here's the thing. Comic book stores are having a real tough time right now. A lot of them are going to close down because these guys are living paycheck to paycheck. Comic book stores are the ultimate victim of social justice warriors in comics. They've been having a real tough time keeping their lights on, paying the bills, making ends meet. They can't sell this shit. You've got a bunch of social justice warrior creators who are hiring each other to make terrible comics, absolutely terrible comics. And they're unsellable. While people are having fun, while these guys are having fun, being self-indulgent, telling their customers that they're, I don't want you to buy my comics if you don't agree with my politics. If you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. This is hurting retailers. And they were already on the brink. This virus is being called an extinction level event. Okay, so this is actually the meteor hitting the comic book industry, at least for comic book stores. This is from Bleeding Cool. An extinction event for the comic shop, or will it be too stupid to quit, too dumb to die? Let's hope. Today, I've been talking to comic book retailers, publishers, and distributors alike, looking at the effect of the coronavirus pandemic. And it's not looking good. Okay, so it's having a big effect on comic book stores, comic book industry as a whole, obviously, which was already teetering on the brink, to the extent that this could mean the end of the direct market as we know it. Now, I have been saying this it's funny, I've been saying this all year. I've been making videos called The Collapse of the Comic Book Industry, Comic Book Industry Collapse. All of these events are happening all at once. AT&T buying DC Comics means the end of DC Comics. Firing Dan DiDio means the end of DC Comics. AT&T's goals were never to publish comic books. Everyone's in denial about this. When I talk about like AT&T, buying DC Comics, and I remember this being a big deal to them when I was still working there. We got to make this AT&T merger, fluid. I mean, we got to make it easy for them. We got to just, we're excited about AT&T buying DC Comics. These guys didn't know. Did they know? Did you guys know when you were doing this? When you guys were trying to convince AT&T to buy you? Did you know they were just going to chop your heads off like this? DC Comics was actively working to make sure that this merger happened, and it was just suicide. Yeah, all the companies are committing suicide. It's just mental. So that happened, and then this happened. The coronavirus hit at the same time. These are two big, gigantic meteors hitting the comic book industry together, the direct market, which is Diamond distribution. All of the comic book stores depend on Diamond distribution. This isn't going to last. It isn't going to work. This is the end of the direct market. Comic stores have stood stronger than other print media stalwarts like the bookstore and the magazine stand, as well as other physical media stores such as HMV, Tower Records, Virgin. But Bleeding Cool has reported repeatedly in the past that many comic stores survive from 1 month to the next, and that a 10% drop in the comics market could mean half of comic book stores close up shop. This is it. And Rich Johnson's very excited about this. He's such a fucking... What is this? Look at Captain Marvel's penis. Captain Marvel's dong. You can actually see his sack and his penis in there. Wow. All right. So we've seen a much greater dip than that in just the past 2 weeks. If we do see a large collapse of comic stores, the debt that they owe Diamond Comics distributors will likely sink Diamond too. I had a nice chat with Steve Jeppy from Diamond Comics 2 weeks ago about a lot of the things that I've been saying. Had a nice conversation with him, talking about Cyberfrog, talking about the future, talking about where we go from here. Where do comics go from here? How does a company like Diamond get involved with what comicsgate's doing? Like, how do they no, I don't know. I don't know if we need them. I'm not sure. We kind of are doing our own thing right now. So all right, No one has the ability to scale up infrastructure for replacement worldwide distribution systems like Diamond these days. Comic publishers would be shutting up shop too. And here we go. Finally, we see Rich Johnson confronting the reality of what's going on. Everyone's saying, Ethan, I seem to remember you telling everyone that I was crazy, you jackass. Oh, Ethan says crazy, loony things. Jim Lee out there saying, have you heard any rumors lately? People all doubting me. I was right all along. From the start, I've been right about all of this. And now you people have to admit. The cracks are starting to show. Diamond UK will be getting their comics 2 days late next week, with comics going on sale Thursday. After that, well, there may not be any more deliveries at all. Also, at a time when Comixology have put the European price of comics up by between 50 and 70%. They're raising the price of their comics. So you want to buy digital, you're going to be paying half as much. I mean, half as much over again. Nearly double in some cases. While publishers are talking about reducing the number of titles they offer for July significantly. And yeah, I talked to Nick Barucci about this over at Diamond. Nick's a friend of mine. He's making all of his comics returnable. And this is something that the comics industry should have done a long time ago. It's making his comics returnable. But see, Diamond doesn't do that. Diamond is a unique model. They're not, they're magazine distribution that does not do returns. Comics are not returnable through Diamond. That's the whole thing. That worked great before. That worked fine before. It doesn't work so great now. Nobody's buying these comic books that people are making. Comics are horrible. This shit is horrible. People are going to comic shops out of habit now. Who's enjoying any of this stuff? Time to quit. Time to close up shop. Again, Valiant Comics, run by Heather Antos. Heather Antos, who just said fuck capitalism on Twitter 2 days ago. Heather Antos is now in a leadership position at Valiant Comics. Idiot. Just a total idiot. Valiant Comics creators told pencils down by bosses. We're closing for a month. You guys. There goes Valiant. Bleeding Cool has been told by several separate and well-connected sources that Valiant Comics creators have been given a pencils down edict from editors and executives, told to stop working, stop doing comics, and that Valiant will be shuttering for the next month. It's not going to reopen, rather than editorial working remotely. As a result, creators are being asked not to continue their assignments, as there is no way to get paid in the interim. Greg Katzman, Valiant marketing manager, would not confirm or deny these reports, but gave Bleeding Cool an official response from Valiant, saying, the response we've been receiving from the retailers is their request for us to adjust our publishing schedule for major titles coming this year when this unprecedented situation resolves itself. As always, Valiant is listening to the comic book industry. All these people, all these comic book professionals now. And as I understand, the completed books, such as the new issues of Bloodshot and Ray, are already headed to the printers, but anything not completed may not be for some time. This is it for Valiant. Valiant's not going to reopen. This is the end of Valiant Comics. Shit. Well, Heather Antos is going to be available again. If anybody wants to hire Heather Antos, Valiant Comics is gone. I'm pretty sure that's it for Valiant. All right. All right. So talked to a lot of retailers, a lot. There are mixed experiences. Everyone is aware of the serious and significance of what is happening right now. Here's Brian Hibbs. He's a big leftist out in, oh, no kidding. He's in San Francisco. He said, we are closed to walk-in trade as mandated by the government. My expectation is that we're the canary on this, and such closures will go wider and wider over the next 2 weeks, possibly culminating in martial law. It's possible things could be shut down for months. Sales are radically off, duh, and even our aggressive attempts to set up curbside pickup, shipping, or pay now will hold your books have yielded a tiny fraction of the income we need to remain viable without drastic intervention by the largest publishers. What we need is an immediate extension in everyone's sales terms by at least 30 days and probably more like 90, as well as all shipments from 316 and later being fully returnable via affidavit. We need production of marginal material, 15K or fewer copies might be a rational line, to be paused or canceled. Bye-bye, SJWs. Bye-bye. You are now out of work. You guys are going to go out of work. And so on. Every Bleeding Cool reader should, right now, before things get further shut down, set up a pre-order list with their local comic store because stores everywhere are starting to slash their non-returnable orders. Let your local store know you support them. Make no mistake, this is an extinction level event for the direct market. That's it. But cool hands and firm leadership from the top could absolutely mitigate a significant portion of the damage, if not eliminate it outright. There's an amount of volume that, if lost, means that selling comics are therefore non-viable as a business. If the bottom third of stores goes away, the overwhelming majority of Marvel and DC stores will suddenly become deeply unprofitable, which will crush out the next third of stores. You see how this is going to happen? DC and Marvel need to be showing serious leadership right now. It's been 72 hours of silence. Instead, wrong. It hasn't been 72 hours of silence. Marvel is actively... Oh my God, dude. I hate Marvel Comics so much. I mean, I hate Marvel Comics with a fiery passion because let me show you what Marvel Comics is doing in the meantime. Marvel Comics has not been silent. Marvel Comics, fucking idiots. You idiots are having a great time. They're owned by Disney. Here's CB Sobolski, EIC of Marvel Comics. Here's a picture of him eating a burger. Hey, New Yorkers, friends at Karazishi Botan, Hall, Torian, Nakamura, and Samurai Mama, all starting takeout and delivery today. Please help support local restaurants in these trying times if you can. This is the EIC of Marvel Comics. Not a word. Not a word about Marvel Comics. He's saying go out there and support your local restaurants. Hey, they're on their own. Why don't you worry about the comic book industry? You asshole. You complete and total jackass. These guys are trolling right now. You're going to see a couple of things happen here. Marvel and DC, as the ship goes down, and the ship is definitely going down, you would think that these guys would try to spare some dignity. They would show some restraint. They would try to do something. They would try. They would at least try, right? No. These guys are going down trolling. These guys are actually going to go down, and you know who's on their minds as they sink into the murky abyss? And by the way, comic skaters, welcome. We're all together. We're on our lifeboat. We're going to be just fine. We're going to be just fine. But you know what they're doing while they're sinking? They're saying, fuck you, Richard C. Meyer. They're trolling. They're trolling in a way that even has pissed off Bleeding Cool. Marvel launches new politically correct woke superhero comic to insult longtime readers. Oh my, how your tone has changed. How your tone has changed, Bleeding Cool. This is absolutely incredible. If you guys think for 1 second that Marvel Comics gives a damn about the retailers, about local comic shops, about any of this, here's your evidence that they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. Marvel Comics have again insulted all comic book fans everywhere by announcing a new superhero team full of politically correct, woke, so-called diverse characters. And yes, all sane individuals have been calling for Marvel to stop gender flipping, race flipping, orientation flipping their characters and create new ones. But now, why is Rich Johnson talking like comicsgate now? I thought that people who said, please stop doing this were bigots. I thought we were bigots. I thought comicsgate, we were racist. And they were doing this and it was funny. Remember, ha ha ha! Look at all the Nazis, all the Trump supporters getting upset because Marvel's doing. But this has always been done in comics. Why is comicsgate getting upset? Because they're racist. That's why. Now that the comic book industry is about to collapse, we're singing a different tune, aren't we? Absolutely insane. Marvel is sitting there now doing weird characters, Safe Space, Snowflake, this weird vampire character. Marvel is offering more of this absolute shit, more of this absolute unsellable shit, infuriating people. I truly do not understand. I truly don't understand why this is the moment for that. Comic book stores are crying out in pain. Crying out in pain. And this is Marvel's response. Support your local restaurants. And by the way, Safe Space, Snowflake, the new Sawyers. Marvel Comics is also. Here's the Children of the Atom trailer here. This is I don't know. I don't know where the creative people went. I do not know where the creative people went in comics. I guess I don't know. I guess they aged out. Here's what we got.
There's so many things I could tease about Children of the Atom, but I will say one thing, and that's new characters.
X-Men is supposed to be.
These don't look like new characters to me. These look like they look like old characters that have been gender swapped. To me,
Something that is, you know, important to the now. And so what is more now than Zoom?
This is Vita Ayala, who has created her career. She writes everything now. From what I understand, there is an agency that represents people like Vita Ayala and Max Visaggio and actively gets them jobs, with Marvel, DC, other companies. Vita Ayala, I guess, is brags about being queer, and Brown is a talentless writer, utterly shallow and talentless writer, who is now writing the X-Men. And it's fascinating to see what she says here. What is more now than Zoomers?
Zoomers.
Children of the Atom.
All right, so these are the new X-Men. You've got Maddow as Cyclops here. You've got a lesbian Cyclops. Maybe she's bisexual. We'll just call her Biclops. Zach called this one Gambitch. I like that, Gambitch. And we got some fat guy here. I don't know what this is.
Atom has 5 new characters at the heart of it that Vita very meticulously wrote out entire backstories and histories and families and anything you want to know about these characters. Vita has thought about it already.
All right, so let's find out. You thought about it? I want to hear all about these characters and their meticulous backstories. What can we learn about these characters from Vita Ayala? She's already thought it through. She already has all the conflict. All these characters are probably deeply, thoroughly written.
One of them has a TikTok. One of them
has a TikTok. Oh, this is all internet shit. One of them has a fitness Insta. Oh, more internet shit.
has a fitness Insta. One of them is basically the moderator for the mutant subreddit.
Moderator for the mutant subreddit. X-Men by Vita Ayala. I live on the internet. Everything is internet with me. I live on the internet. I don't know what a superhero is. Superheroes, to me, do the same thing that I do every single day. I'm a superhero. I'm like a superhero. I moderate my own subreddit. I have a TikTok. I have a fitness Insta. I'm on Instagram. I'm very much like a superhero, and superheroes are very much like me.
One of them is
X-Men. One of them's a cosplayer. My boring reality. Sitting on the computer all day, calling everybody who votes for Trump Nazis is X-Men now. Everybody just remember when they were doing this thing, like every single comic book cover was like the superheroes taking a selfie. It's just so goddamn, I mean, oh my God. It's just like a headache right in my eye socket that I cannot get rid of. Good Lord. Snowflake, safe space.
cosplayer, and the other one makes mutant music. For so long, it's like the larger media in the X-Men universe is like, mutants are bad, and like the X-Men are evil because they're mutants, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what would
No, it's it. The X-Men are not evil because they're mutants. They're an existential threat to the human race. It wasn't just that the X-Men are evil because they're mutants. It was humanity was afraid of being replaced. See, it's about supremacy. It's about the X-Men were about a master race. Think about it this way, Vita. They were Homo superior. So the X-Men, that entire book was about fear, humanity being afraid of being replaced by mutants who were like humans, but were often more beautiful, strange, exotic, and had magic, special powers and gifts that humans didn't have. So it wasn't just, oh my goodness, we're terrified of the X-Men are bad. X-Men bad. I'm not sure if you've read an X-Men book before, but it really is different than you described.
Zoomers think of that? They would be like, no, they're great. Like,
they're great. Zoomers would think they're great. Human Zoomers would think mutants were great. They would think, no, they're great. We'd be on the side of being wiped out the face of the earth by, yeah, we're great. We're going to go extinct. That's great. The X-Men. Mutants are awesome.
How the X-Men react to these new characters who are their sidekicks is a major part of the story that is...
Look at like these total frauds. Look at these total frauds mixed in with the real X-Men. Todd Knock, shame on you.
Going to have all sorts of ripples through their titles and ours.
but also, it's an X-Men comic. There's going to be powers and there's going to be punching.
There's going to be punching. There's going to be powers and there's going to be punching. What is it with social justice warriors and punching things? There's going to be punching. Look, punching, people punching things. These people do not understand comic books. They don't understand superheroes. They don't get it. None of these people get it. Faking it. They're just all of this is just a pretense.
And there's going to be bad guys and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, good. They're going to be bad guys and punching. You realize that you're making comic books for adults. Like the remaining audience of comics are in their 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s. And you're talking to them like this. There's going to be bad guys and punching and powers. You might not be, this might not be the job for you. The people who buy comics now, grew up with. The people who buy comics now started buying comics. Think about this. They started buying comics when Frank Miller was writing and drawing Daredevil. Dark Knight Returns. Alan Moore. This is when they became comic book fans. They were like, whoa, there was a whole thing that happened in the late 80s and early 90s, and it just kind of swept the media. Okay, this idea, this notion that comic books weren't for kids. And comics aren't for kids anymore. They're really for adults. And we don't call them comics. We call them graphic novels now, and all this stuff. And then people tried them out, and people started actually investigating. The Batman movie came out. People started reading comic books. And they found that the comic book stories were sophisticated, and then the more they investigated, the more they got sucked in via Batman and Superman and, all the superhero stories that were well written. And people started discovering Vertigo comics and Alan Moore, but Neil Gaiman. And people started to discover, Garth Ennis and Warren Ellis. And all through the late 80s and the 90s, comics became more and more sophisticated. Sure, during the 90s, there was the cool pulp stuff that Rob Liefeld was doing, Todd McFarlane, the Image stuff. But that was candy. Most people were reading very sophisticated comics, and those people are now adults. Okay, those people are now old. We're older now. I'm middle-aged. I've been reading comics since I was 13 years old, and now I'm 45, and I've got this idiot now. There aren't too many newbies coming on board. I got this idiot who has taken over my beloved X-Men. And she's saying, they're going to be powers and bad guys and punching. And by the way, they're like on the internet all day long and they're cosplayers. Basically, I'm just inserting my world, my very limited, myopic, silly world into the X-Men. I have no understanding about what X-Men is actually about. I think it's something about civil rights. I think it's something about civil rights somewhere, but really, people hate the X-Men for no reason, but Zoomers love them. Zoomers are like, go X-Men. And, it's funny. It's like, a woman of color could actually make a comic book, an X-Men comic that was completely, you could understand. If you were a woman of color with a brain in your head, you could actually write an X-Men comic from a unique perspective. Even if you were a far leftist who hated the idea of white supremacy, those things could actually easily, those things inform X-Men, an understanding of what X-Men's about, what it's actually about. All of the Nazi punching, none of that, all of the anti-Nazi stuff, and nothing's working up here, huh? Nothing at all. It's unbelievable how stupid, silly, and shallow these people are trying to write comics for an adult. They can't, they're just, I don't know who these comics are for. Who is this comic for? You have no respect for your audience. None. It's like like when Grant Morrison was writing New X-Men, there were layers upon layers upon layers of meaning. It was a privilege to get to work with him on New X-Men. He had a new take on, there are a million different ways that you can look at X-Men, but he had a really good take on it. And, a lot of people have done different things with the X-Men and made it mean different things. This might be the first writer who's made it mean absolutely nothing. This is a one-layer cake. The layer is as thin as paper, and underneath it is nothing but lard. Just fluff, just shit. One's a cosplayer. One's an Instagrammer. One has a TikTok. Shit. And by the way, they're not even original characters. We just gender swapped Gambit and Cyclops. You can do anything. You know, if you are doing the X-Men, and I had a chance, like I said, like I just mentioned, those of you who don't know me very well, I'm a comic book professional. I worked on the X-Men in 2002 to 2003. And during that time, for me, just like on Green Lantern, it's an opportunity to be incredibly creative. If you're working on Spider-Man, I think that must be a little bit more confining. X-Men, Green Lantern, these two books, these two franchises are opportunities to flex your muscles, to really let your imagination go, and create great stuff, create original stuff. When I was on the X-Men, I created Glob Herman, which they're still using. I created Glob Herman all by myself. Beak, little kind of bird guy, lonely, introverted bird guy I created with Grant Morrison. The Stefford Cuckoos, Angel, so many other creators, so many other little characters that I created along the way over in X-Men. I went, mutants, they can be anything. They can be absolutely anything. Why the hell would you go back and copy something that somebody already did? You're working on Green Lantern. You mean, okay, so it's aliens. There are 7,200 aliens from all over the universe. You can literally do anything that you want to do. You can have the most incredibly crazy idea and turn it into a Green Lantern. And these people, it's absolutely infuriating.
Also, it's an X-Men comic. There's going to be powers, and there's going to be punching, and there's going to be bad guys, and all that kind of stuff.
I'm very excited to have Vita Ayala and Bernard Chang as part of this title.
Bernard really brought the thunder on this. It's really incredibly dynamic.
Because he not only had to design these superhero
Bernard Chang's pretty good. He's all right.
Identities, but also these civilian identities and like people's moms and like their little brother. And he's making these characters real and whole in a way that a lot of artists probably couldn't.
Yeah. No, he isn't. And no artist could make these characters real and whole because they aren't real. There's nothing beyond. These are shallow, stupid, vapid ideas by a shallow, stupid, vapid writer who was hired because of her identity, because of the color of her skin, and because she says, I'm queer and brown. Emotionally manipulative SJW tactics to get unqualified people, manifestly unqualified. I don't even have to say, it's not even a matter of opinion. You're looking at this and you're going, wait a second, there's literally nothing here. I am not interested in this. There's nothing here. This person is not creating characters that I'm interested in. There is no talent here. Why? Why is she doing this? Because she was hired, because she's Vita Ayala. She's represented probably by the same guy who represents the same firm that represents Max Visaggio. Goes out and gets these guys work all over the place where they do shit. They just produce shit.
X-Men was some of my first comics ever, and to be able to play in that universe and also to add to that universe is really a dream come true.
So if you've never read an X-Men book before and you're only familiar with them in other mediums, this is a great place to start off.
It's a terrible place to start off. Please don't make this your first X-Men book. Please don't do it. You have people right now these people are masquerading as X-Men creators. This is not a good X-Men comic. Please don't read this. Don't make this your first book. There are many, many, many other places that you'd be better off starting off. If you're interested in politics in X-Men, go read the brilliant Chris Claremont God Loves, Man Kills graphic novel. That's a good place to start off. I would just start off reading reprints of Chris Claremont's run, starting all the way back with Giant Size X-Men #1, which Rich Johnson is laughing about here. He's, oh, look, this was a diverse retail. Yeah, Rich, I get it. Go read that stuff. That's good. That's actually good stuff. And by the way, quite right. These are diverse characters with meaning. They're well thought out. You learn about them as you go. When you read the Claremont X-Men stuff, you're going to be introduced to characters who actually do have substance behind them. And you're going to learn about them as you read more. You're going to learn more about their history, their personal conflicts, how they feel about each other. where they fall politically in the the overall scheme of things. With X-Men, with mutants being looked at with scorn, and yet mutants are superior to the human race. I mean, everybody has different ideas, different plans. They all relate to each other in different ways. There's a lot there. Do not start out reading this shit. Don't do it. Go read Grant Morrison's E for Extinction. I did chapter 4. I would say that. Go read New X-Men, E for Extinction. That's a good place to start. This is awful. Shameful.
Almost like the kids are our perspective. So anything that you don't know, you're discovering it through these.
Look at this. It's just,
kids. I don't think we've seen this perspective in X.
By the way, every single new black female character has Minnie Mouse pom-pom fro. I don't know why that is, but DC had a character over on Teen Titans, I think, had Minnie Mouse pom-pom fro. I had to draw her. All of these new characters have this Minnie Mouse pom-pom fro. I've never seen that in real life. I've actually never seen Minnie Mouse pom-pom fro on a real human being.
X-Men comics before. I think people are going to super dig it.
I think people are going to super dig it, she says. I think people are going to super dig it. The end of the comic book industry. That's where we are. People are closing down. Now other people have different views. Calum Johnson, Strange Adventures in Canada, told me he agreed with the motto, too stupid to quit, too dumb to die. He's offering pickup curbside, doing deliveries, stepping up our mail orders, working on improving our web presence. These are all things to try to do to get through this. Trying to think of other things to do as well if you have any ideas. Checking in with some colleagues to see what they're having to deal with and sharing ideas and support whenever possible. I'll be slinging comics in some form or another for the rest of my days. But that's all I can be sure of at this point. Yeah. Optimistic but realistic. Let me see here if I know any of these stores in particular. Collector's Paradise in California. So far we have been able to do fine through social reach to our customers. Some new procedures which are working well, like curbside pickups. I think they should just do delivery. I don't know how long that would last, but I like the idea of like ordering comics the way you order a pizza. And you just know, like you put out, your store should have a website and it should say, this is the stuff that came in. Here's our phone number. Call us an order. We'll take your credit card over the phone. And then we're going to send somebody right over there to drop off your comics to you wearing a mask, in a bubble, in an oxygen tent. I think that might work. I mean, that's pretty close to, that's pretty close to the way people like to order things now. And right now, Hunter and I were talking upstairs. Hunter's like, I might get furloughed from, my job. So I was like, what are you going to do? And he's like, well, I guess what I could do is I could pick up a pizza delivery job for a little while because, pizza delivery right now is huge. Everybody's ordering food. All right, I forgot to read the comments on the Children of the Atom video. All right, let me here we go. Let me read them. Literally no one, absolutely no soul, everybody that existent. Marvel, how do you do, fellow children? I have a TikTok. Yo, dab. Apparently the virus that shall not be named wasn't killing businesses fast enough. Marvel had to come out this week and say, hold my beer. Yeah, one of them has a TikTok. Me. Done. Stands up and walks away. I'm so done. This and New Warriors makes me want to not read comics. By the way, the New Warriors thing caught on everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. And part of me sat down and just thought, is this a good thing? Like, is negative attention sometimes okay? Like, is that the fact that like everyone's talking about it? Does it make you, are you going to buy it? Think for a minute. Are you gonna buy New Warriors when it comes out just out of like hatred and curiosity? Is it a hate purchase? I wonder if anybody's gonna do that. No. I mean, Zach is, but I wonder if I guess we're not, but other people might, maybe. All I know is people are talking about Marvel Comics, and that's one thing. They're talking about it in a horrified way. They're talking about it with horror. No, people are not going to buy it. Everybody in here is saying, no, we're not buying that shit. Did anyone buy J-Team? But see, J-Team wasn't meant to be... J-Team was just lame. Like, this is lame. What Marvel's doing is mostly just like, look, we have no creative talent. We have nothing to say anymore. And we're just producing garbage. But this is like, New Warriors was actually offensive and intended to be offensive. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Here comes Ava. All right, let me I'll be right back. Yeah, I mean, if she doesn't want to go, she doesn't have to go, I guess. I guess she could stay. Ava's running laps around my office right now. And Andrea comes down to get her, and she's like, do you want to go upstairs? And Ava says no. Simple as that. No. So let's see. I'd say Marvel has a 33 and a third % chance of not going under this year. Well, we'll see how that goes. I gotta say, this is a suicide note to me. I'm looking at this stuff that they're doing, and it is saying, please we want to go out of business. We want to do it at our own. We want to do it by our own hand. The New Warriors thing was so ridiculous and over the top, and I don't know what the plan was. I really don't know what the plan was. How do you? Was it just to dunk on Zach? You put this book out to dunk on Zach, and the entire world dunks on you in return. And the reason why we say it exists just to dunk on Zach is because they're using Zach's favorite character. I mean, they actually put Night Thrasher in there, and Zach has said many times, he's like, "Look, first of all, New Warriors used to be a great book, and my favorite character, the character that I would do from Marvel if I could, is Night Thrasher." So it seems like doing a book with Night Thrasher in it and then adding all of this social justice crap it's kind of giving you the finger while giving everybody the finger while you jump out the window. But it's weird. Peter Samedi's here. Hi, Peter. He says Marvel's making spite comics right now. Retailers have to recognize this and act accordingly. Marvel doesn't care about their businesses or their customers. Peter, that's exactly right. Spike Comics, they're actually publishing comics before, the birth of Comicsgate was just people saying, look, you guys, there's something weird going on right now. You guys are not respecting your customers at all. You're calling us Nazis, and you're, publishing stuff that kind of, it puts a wedge between us. It makes us feel left out. It makes us feel like you don't love us. We're your customers. And that was the start of Comicsgate. But I mean, you could have argued, no, Marvel really thinks this is what people want. You can't argue that right now. There's no way that you can argue that Marvel isn't making spite comics. They absolutely are. And what a great term. Peter, you're very smart. I think C.B. Cebulski agreed. You know what you're talking about. C.B. Cebulski was talking down to you. It was pretty funny. He's a weirdo. Let me see. Peter Smitty says, if you want, send me the link, EBS. What do you think, guys? You want to do that? All right. I would love to. Peter, I've never had you on my show before. And I would love to have you on. So let's do that right now. Sign your name across my heart. I want you to be my... I wonder what that guy's doing now. Let's see here. Peter Samiti. Peter, oh, there you are. Okay, I'm sending you the link right via Twitter. Honey, who sang Sign Your Name Across My Heart? Terrence Trent D'Arby, right? Yeah. I wonder where he is these days. I know, I couldn't remember it. You know, I always, I don't know, I mix him up with the other guy. No, not Milli Vanilli, Lenny Kravitz. No, they were both kind of light-skinned black men with soul. Well, no, there isn't anything to like about their music, but they look similar. You know. I don't know. I almost wanted to go see Terrence Trent D'Arby live. Because he would have been like, wish me love, oh, wishing well, kiss and tell. I would have been like digging that in the 90s. In the early 90s, that is. Charlie's London says he writes for other musicians. He's awesome. Oh, so yeah, see, that's what you do. You know, you kind of move on with your life, and you start writing for people. That's what Four Non Blondes is doing. That weirdo from Four Non Blondes, she's writing for like Katy Perry now. That was the worst song ever. I swear to God, you do not like that song. And I say, hey, yeah, yeah. What's going on? You like that? And I cry. Oh my God, do I cry? I cry all the time. Andrew's over there playing Star Wars with Ava. Ava dumps out all my Star Wars figures on the floor and just sits in them and plays Star Wars figures. She loves it. You know, still loves Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt reminds her of her father because we're both gangsters, not because not for any other reason. She calls Jabba the Hutt iguana. You know, she's like iguana. Yeah, it is better when Prince Adam sings it. Peter, where are you? I'm waiting for you. I held up the show for you. What are you doing? Worst song ever is Chinese Food by Allison Gold. I've never heard that song. You're saying that's the worst song of all time? EBS got told off. Hail Andrea. Andrea tells me off all the time. No, she doesn't tell me off. She tells me how it is. She says, I like Four Non Blondes, and you can't convince me that I don't. Let me read some super chats here. Let's see. TJ Swan says, don't think I didn't hear you when you said stay black. I wanted you to hear me. TJ Swan says, word up. It's like our third time splitting that. Last King of Scotland says, Ethan, what about Cyberfrog smartphone cases? That's a thought. Let me see. Drew, aka Mr. E, says, wanted to tell you the next chapter of Captain Love series launches on Indiegogo on March 29th, and the current book is in demand and ships immediately. Please help tell people about Captain Love. That's love with an L-U-V. Let's prove comicsgate is the way. Drew, that was actually a really good book. I enjoyed Captain Love. Thank you for sending it to me. Cecil is here. He says, eating like a pig in quarantine, up a full cup size. Cecil, I'm sending you the link too. You got to get in here. Let's see. I'm sending this to Cecil. Cecil is my if I were Frank Sinatra, Cecil would be my Dean Martin. Or if I were Dean Martin, he would be my Jerry Lewis. What do you think of that, babe? Dean Martin. Cecil is my Dean Martin to my Frank Sinatra. All right, let me see here. Hail War Campaign. Hail the Brethren, says TJ Swan. Planet Musk Vlog says, I'm headed to the local comic shop to start a box. TJ Swan says, you're smooth, B. Let's see. EVS, I just received Cyberfrog Hall of Heroes 0 through 4 today. You mean Harris. I got them at a good price. I need them signed. Make it happen, says Comics Du Nord. Yanni Hill says, didn't Heather Antos find his dream job in online gambling some time ago? Why was she back doing comics? That is the question. Marvel fired Heather Antos, and she said, I'm leaving for my dream job, which is like online gambling. And then here she comes. She's back at Valiant, And I mean, immediately she goes back to her old habit. She's screaming about socialism, and then Valiant closes down. Here's Peter Samedi here. Hi, Peter.
Hey, how's it going?
It is going good, my friend. It is good to see you and have you.
Whoa! It sounds crazy in there. Everything happening okay over there? Hey guys, how's it going in the chat? Hope you guys are doing good today. It's a beautiful day by me. I hope you're okay.
Yeah. It's good to have you here. Thank you. Yeah, Ava was upset about something, so Andrew is pulling her out now.
All right.
And that's the way it goes. It's look, we're all home. We're all stir crazy in the house.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like we can't do the things that we want to do, Peter. I wanted to go bungee jumping today.
You did?
Yeah, I wanted to do motocross today. That's what I do in my spare time. I do ollies on my moto bike.
Wow. I've never gone bungee jumping. I'm just scared to death of heights. And falling. Falling, I think, is actually that's what scares me more than heights. Oh, did Ethan freeze? I think he froze. He's frozen.
Unbelievable that I just, the minute you come in here, I feel like the stream was going great. And then suddenly everything goes wrong. Ava starts screaming, and then the entire internet freezes. Here's why let me explain to you why, even though you're afraid of heights and falling, bungee jumping might be for you.
Okay.
I can't. I've never bungee jumped either. I rock rappelled, and that was terrifying. 150-foot cliff, Peter. And here's the hard part. The hard part is you have a rope around your waist, and you go to the edge of the cliff with your back turned. Okay, so you're looking, your back is turned to the plummet, and you have to fall backwards and do the 90, like slowly ease backwards to a 90-degree angle off the side. That is you got to be kidding me. That is the most impossible thing to do. And you got to do it straight. You want to bend at the waist and still stay.
That's like a trust fall, and the only thing that's going to catch you is the ground.
The ground, and you're hoping that rope is sturdy. I'm telling you, that is a really, really tough thing to do. We're in trouble right now. What do you think of that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's dire. It's do or die right now. Anyone that has an inkling of fight in them, you got to bring it out there. Right now with the comic industry in particular, I mean, obviously there's so many things going on right now in the world. Everybody's going through stuff. This goes without saying. But if you're working at these companies and you're like, oh, I hope if I say something, they're going to fire me, or they're, I can't speak up. I can't speak up. Speak up. Speak up right now, because if you don't, that's it. This is it. Go down swinging, and everyone's got to get out there and say something.
I think people would probably feel a lot better if Marvel and DC were actually showing some good faith, like resolve and fight themselves.
Absolutely.
And they're not. So, I mean, that's sending a very clear signal. When you've got Marvel Comics making Spike comics at this point in time, that's saying Marvel doesn't care about these comic book shops. They don't care. Like, they should be like, okay, we've got John Byrne, and we've got this, we've got all these great books that we're launching right now. We're creating comics that you guys are going to demand to own. Yep. We should have, they should be throwing whatever money they have at trying to get this guy to do this and this guy to do that, and actually make comics that traditionally people want. The time
pool your resources, get your A-listers together. What the hell is this crap?
A-listers.
Not this New Warriors crap, not any kind of Spike comic, not anything talking about Zoomers or whatever. Get all your A-listers together, get a great comic out there, and get those proceeds out to the shops. This is stuff they would have done maybe 20 years ago. Now, where are they? Where the hell are they? Where's the leadership? Where's the fight? Where's the fire in the belly? It's not there.
No, and I got to say, it's going to get worse. DC Comics without Dan DiDio is rudderless. And what you're going to see is the editors, certain editors in particular, allowing more weirdos, and I use that term with love, more creepy weirdos from Tumblr into DC Comics. Dan DiDio was standing between DC Comics, and an influx of social justice warriors doing comics. That is all out the window now. DC Comics knows that it's a limited time now. Without Dan there, the clock's ticking. You're going to see a lot more just disgusting garbage like this. A lot more Spike comics.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And then the craziest part is, right, then when it all crashes and burns, it'll be like, oh, well, coronavirus is the beast that destroyed the comic industry.
That's who we're blaming, right?
Yeah,
we're
okay.
blame Corona for
not mismanagement, not poor leadership, not crap comics, not low sales, not bad customer service, not poor reader engagement, not anything from 5 to 10 years. No, it's the coronavirus that did it. Okay. Convenient.
It's like you run your immune system down so low. You know what I mean? That, yeah, the coronavirus is going to be the thing that finishes it off. But it would have happened anyway. I mean, you know, I've said, look, the coronavirus is something that nobody could have expected. It's taken something that would have taken 2 years. It's going to happen in 6 weeks. You know, the implosion of the direct market is imminent. I mean, we're weeks away now from the collapse of the comic book industry. And there's not a whole lot that anybody can really do about it, but it would be nice to see people fighting. And it would be nice to see what would we want? We'd want.
Well, you know what? Maybe if Marvel and DC decided to put a block list policy on their creators, then they'd fight. Then they'd say something, right? Then they got the fire.
Tell me what you mean by that? A block list. A block list.
You know, to just indiscriminately block thousands upon thousands of people because maybe they follow someone on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that would be better. Someone needs to do that, you know, and then they'll come out and they'll say, you know, now the fire's there to get pissed off. When the whole industry's crashing down, to hell with it.
I'm letting Zach in here. Zach, I'm sending you. You got to come in here. Do you mind talking to Zach too? I mean, is that okay? Yeah. I didn't ask your permission first. Zach, I'm sending you the link. Yeah, look, we need a kind of a moment where people are assembling together to do the kind of stuff that's going to sell. The comic book industry is not going to survive as it is. It's going to change. And I think that's nobody can argue that anymore. What can we do to save comics? Not the comic book. I want to just not the comic book industry, not Marvel or DC. Marvel and DC are sacred cows. We can actually create something new. Comic books as a medium are still viable. And we can, I don't know, I just feel like we're here for a reason, guys. I feel like this all started a few years ago for a reason. And this is it. This is it. Nobody could have predicted this. Now is the time, Peter. Now is the time to write our name in the heavens in lightning. Now is the time to take the comic book industry and build something new.
Yeah, show a better way. Lead by example. Yep.
A better way.
Yep.
A much better way. So what's Alterna going to do?
Well, we've got a lot of things going on right now. So we've that's the funny part. We've had a buyback and trade-in program since February 2019. I announced that on February 5th, right? A week later, I got swatted. And I'm saying that they go hand in hand. But so that's kind of funny. But we've been having that for over a year. And a bunch of retailers have used it. It's great. And we get in a lot of back issues because of it. So it was always helpful. But the industry's kind of been getting smaller and smaller as it is, especially with distribution footprint. So it's been harder to get in those numbers because retailers are, they're a little more, I don't know. Even with the buyback, they go, I want to get stuff in here that I know I could sell. I don't want to chance it, a couple months. And that's understandable, totally. So we got to do to survive. So we sell a lot direct. We sell way more direct than we do through Diamond, especially money-wise. And it's been like that for about 18 months now. And so we have ourselves better positioned at this point to do this. And in doing so, we've got this printing partnership program that allows people to piggyback onto our print runs. And they can save a lot of money in getting these newsprint books made. So between that and what we have coming out eventually, as long as the world holds up, we've got Alterna distribution launching in about I'd say at this point, because of everything, I'd say it's going to launch in a year. We're going to start product submissions in like June, July. And that's for, your book, anyone's book, whoever's book. So that's to get out there to the readers and the retailers, and it's nice and easy. It's the same kind of setup we're going to have on our site store. They can search through genres if they want. They can search through age ratings. This way, if you go, I don't really know about comic books, especially these indie books, but I know I like horror. I know I like sci-fi. I know I like superheroes. So you can go there and check it out and click on those tabs and then go right to see everyone's listings. And so we've got that kind of setup. We're working that out, but it's one of those things that, 2 years ago, I knew we had to do something like that, but we weren't in that position yet. And I figured we would have had more time, but man, oh man, I wish we had it up and running right now, but we just can't get it out there. Not yet.
I think you're in a really good position because the company is so small. It's a small operation that not a whole lot of overhead.
Yeah, we can pivot quickly.
And that's what we're gonna have to do. What do you think about digital in this market?
We're gonna digital's been a weird one for me because Comixology, I've found that they're pretty much a direct portal to piracy, and have brought this up to Comixology several times, and they always say they're going to look into it. And I'm like, well, any day now would be great. So by principle, it's always felt a bit weird to put stuff on there just to know it's going to be directly right to a piracy site. But we're going to start putting some digital stuff directly on our own site. 99-cent digital issues. It's not that much off of what our printed books are like. They're like $1.50 to $1.99 anyway. But as far as digital goes, it's going to be, I think, what it is. It's 10 to 15% of your sales, and it's kind of always going to be that way. Print comics are just here to stay. So
yeah, I agree.
I don't see that whole. Some people think digital is going to be a replacement for print. I've been hearing that for whatever it is now, 9, 10, 11 years. No.
It hasn't happened.
No, it hasn't at all. Digital has more become a gateway to piracy.
Yeah, exactly. If you want your books to be shared around 4chan for free, go digital. It's going to happen anyway, but digital is going to make that really, really, it's going to expedite that.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? I think that to some degree, some of us in lifeboats are going to have to start holding hands and form some kind of joint venture and figure out how to distribute books quicker. And find some sort of way to, kind of locate all these books under one roof. I'm not saying start a new publishing house.
No, publishing wouldn't really be it, but the alternative distribution system's kind of set up to be that way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I had this idea a long time ago. I wanted to do this kind of thing. I want to call it ICE, Indie Comics Express.
You're a cheeky bastard.
And just get everybody together and figure out a way to distribute so that people have one central place that they can go to find comicsgate books, alternative books, books that that are kind of with us, and be able to ship them all out somehow together. I like your distribution model, and I think it's something we should kind of look at for the next year. This is going to grow. This thing is going to grow. Next year's convention, God willing, we're able to do that. We're able to do it if we're able to do it. Okay, if everyone's healthy. Next year's convention is really going to have a much bigger turnout than I anticipated that it would. And I hope you're planning on going, Peter. I hope Alterna is going to be there. We're going to call it For the Fans Fest 2021. It's going to take place in it's Fandom Menace, it's Comicsgate, it's Weeb Wars, and everyone. It's going to take place in Orlando, Florida, and in May of 2021. That's what we're looking at right now. We're going to crowdfund it. We're actually going to crowdfund the convention and sell the tickets as perks.
Oh, wow.
We're in touch with a few celebrities. We're talking to William Shatner's people. We can actually get celebrities to come, but we can grow this thing. We can make this thing a new birth, a rebirth for comics. But I'm going to need people like you around to help. I have no idea some of the ins and outs. We got to get much smarter people in here. We need more Peter Samitis to make this happen. More great creators, more brilliant publishers.
I mean, you do know CB Cebulski said I'm a smart guy.
I saw that. What an idiot. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Zach made a whole video about it. Zach sent me a message. He said Peter is cooking CB right now. You've got to see it. And I mean to watch that video later
And I
today.
do it with love. A lot of salt, but some love.
What are these guys
Because
think?
we all want to see this stuff turn around, and we want to see these supposed leaders of the industry, find their cojones and start talking and start bringing some leadership to the table. But
Do these guys care? I don't understand. You would think that some of these bigger names would be like, all right, guys, seriously, let's get our shit together. Let's do Marvel and DC. We had some problems before. Marvel versus DC crossover stat with our biggest creators, our biggest names. We're going to take it seriously. We're going to go old school. This is the 1980s. And we're going to do the biggest thing we can. These guys, if you want to actually help the comic book industry, put aside your differences. The first thing that you could do is create product that people want, not just make it returnable. Returnable just is the answer to the fact that all of your work is garbage and it should be returnable. You can't. It's unsellable right now. Create something that people want. And I would say the last move right now on the chessboard is for Marvel and DC to do a massive intercompany crossover that is, big book and then many, many, many little books now.
Well, how great would that be if they did combine for something like this, to have it as a benefit for the comic industry, to have it for retailers, that
If
the
not-
proceeds,
If not now, when? What do you
Yeah,
I mean,
what are you waiting for?
these people Marvel and DC have been hating each other. I mean, the industry has been poisoned now, terminally, I guess, for 20 years. Joe Quesada went over there. He started saying some really weird shit about DC Comics. DC Comics was taken over by Dan DiDio, and he took it extremely personally. The staff of DC Comics, back when I was there early on, took all of the stuff that Joe Quesada was saying extremely personally, and they drew battle lines. They said, it's not going to be fun anymore. It was fun in the 90s. Mike Carlin running DC Comics, Bob Harris over there at Marvel Comics. Let's do jams. Let's do, Marvel versus DC. Let's amalgam, all the things that they did. Really got fans excited. Now, because Joe Quesada said DC Comics is like a porno star, they can't get it up.
That's a quote?
That's a quote. He said, DC Comics has Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. These are the biggest characters in the world. They're like a porno star with a 14-inch penis that can't achieve an erection. DC took that very personally. I remember Dan DiDio, he cut that article out. That was in the New York Post or something like that. It was one of the big New York newspapers.
Wow.
Cut that article out, framed it, hung it on his wall, and said, I will never forget. We will never do business with Marvel Comics as long as Joe Quesada's there. Well, I will tell you this. Joe Quesada is still there, but Dan DiDio isn't. So, guys, suck it up. Suck it up and start doing stuff that people actually want to read. You've got fans out there.
Exactly. It's for the fans. It's for the retailers who are also fans that went into this because they love these two companies. I mean, let's face it, the retailers, they're the ones that are stocking the majority, if not all, of Marvel and DC at this point. They're the ones putting their lives on the line here. They're small businesses. They're not billion-dollar corporations. These are people that love comic books, that it's in their blood. They grew up with this stuff. It means so much to them. And you want to turn your back on them right now? They need you. Come on, step up. It's absolutely insane.
Taking advantage of these people for so long. And again, we, thank God comicsgate has been chronicling this. All these videos exist where we're talking about, look, these predatory publishing practices, you guys have realized. Things went really bad when Marvel and DC realized that the customers were the retail shops and not the fans. That's when things really went awry. When they realized all they needed to do was con the customer or the comic book stores, local retail shops. Just trick them into buying this, and this, and then everything's going to be okay. And the fans didn't want to buy any of it. The fans are disappointed with everything that's coming out right now. There's nothing for anyone just looking at that video with Vita Ayala describing her X-Men book, listening to, Peter, I know you have nothing to do with this, but we're making videos where, we're listening to the way Gail Simone talks to her audience.
It's
don't.
elitist and smug and self-satisfied. I'm tired of it. I bit my tongue for 2 years. I thought people would wise up, that they would turn around, that they would grow up, that they would put the fans and the customers and the readers and the retailers before all their stupid crap. And no, they didn't. And now we're in a position where we're just a hair's breadth away from the whole industry just collapsing within weeks.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be
nothing.
Nothing's being done. Where are you guys stepping up to do something? Making your product cheaper right now. Thanks. Making it returnable. Thanks. Cutting down the amount of product that you have that doesn't sell. Like we acknowledge that anything under 15,000 should be canceled right now. That's nice. How about actually creating something that people want to do? How about creating excitement and buzz right now? Hello, you boy, Zach.
Is he there?
Hey, rebooted my router, but it's not looking that great.
You sound good.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Zach, we hear you.
Yeah, I hear you.
See if
Everything's a nightmare all the time, Pete.
I'm not hearing you that well. You're frozen.
Oh no.
Is there a way to step down like the resolution on a live stream?
Do you have YouTube open at the same time, like on a separate tab or anything?
No, I'll close out everything else. But I'll be here as long as I hear. But it's not a bit. I just reset my router. I've actually really wanted to be in like your last 3 live streams, so I'm excited to get invited in.
Oh, it's good to have you
close
here.
All tabs except for StreamYard.
It's always fun when Zach comes in and there's something wrong every single time, but it's still good. By the way, people get mad at me when I private Zach stream. Zach came in here and we did like a 2-hour show, and I called Gail Simone a retard. And I was drunk. Bad. Right? And I went, okay, I'm gonna hide that one. People said, why did you private that stream? And I told them why. I said, because I called Gail a retard. And I told them
you just did right now, though, again,
over and over again. So I just went, I might as well unprivate it. I made it clear over the last 4 videos why it was privated, and I said so. So in any case, yeah. Zach, are you around? Do you want to try again?
Yeah, I'm just gonna talk until you guys start pointing at your earphones that you can't hear me. I guess that'll be the signal. But it's so funny because I feel bad because my policy of jumping on live streams is very selfish. I get invited, I'm like, and then when I want to talk about something, I'm just like, let me in right now. It's kind of shitty thing to do, but it was so weird. I was uploading a video, and the titles, they always take a while to get a good title. And the title was literally almost a sentence that Peter Samedi just said as he was saying it. And it was just uploading. But yeah, they have it's destroyed, and the murderer's in the room. But as Ethan was saying, we're not allowed to give the eulogy at the funeral. It's absolutely insane what they've done. I just uploaded a video. Valiant Comics has shut down. They literally told people stop working. Like in the middle of a story, and I was like, and the thing you're saying, this is not a surprise, end. This was a demise they were always on this path. They got there earlier than we expected. I said 2020, the bottom falls out of the industry. I meant fall.
It's going to take a while to hit the ground. You didn't think it was going to?
Yeah, no, I wasn't even ready. Jeez.
I thought it'd be like that feather in Forrest Gump, where it's just kind of, and it's moving around and the wind's taking it here and there, and you're like, oh, maybe.
No,
and then they were gonna try little things, and I was gonna slow it down. No, it was a freaking anvil, because everything. It's like, again, the video I just uploaded. If someone is out on a ledge in the rain, a slippery ledge, and they're walking back and forth, and then they fall. You don't go, oh, what a tragic ending. Like, why did you go out on that ledge in the first place? Yeah. Why did you go out when it was raining? Why did you build your entire business model on Valiant spent 8 years with their only goal of getting a movie. And then it came out and they had to shut down production 2 weeks later. 0 cash reserves. No plan for anything. And I know it's more complicated, the movie, and there's been different owners, and it's, it's kind of a shell game. It's all mixed all around. But that was their entire plan. Movies. The movie comes out, and despite, like you guys were saying, coronavirus is going to be used as the excuse for everything. The industry was great. Everything was great. Coronavirus happened. Whoopsie doopsie. I guess we're all going to go work at Netflix now. But Bloodshot for the first week only underperformed by like 8%, 10%. It actually almost matched what it was predicted. It was never predicted to be a huge hit. It was supposed to make 10 million its first weekend, and then it would, attenuate over the following weeks. But Hollywood Hoop Dreams and Spite Hires, they were so proud of hiring Heather Ontos, who has done nothing but brand herself over the last year and a half, and then occasionally mention the books they're putting out.
Well, they turned the screw so much they've stripped it. So now what do you do?
Oh yeah. So now they're just gonna go gosh, earlier it looks like Ethan's energy levels have gone down, but 2 hours ago they were.
No, I'm ready to start yelling, dude. I'm ready to start yelling about this. I have plenty of energy.
They were through the roof, but like you said, like we were making the analogy. It's like we got the campfire, and now the wolves want to get closer. But it's like, no, it's over. The time to change was 2 years ago. When and again, I don't try to harp on the same person over and over, but some people are very integral to history. When Heather Ontos destroyed all the momentum for Secret Empire for some stupid Mean Girls social media drama, that should have been a huge wake-up call for the industry. Like, holy shit. That was their big event of the entire year. Marvel Comics, the industry leader. And it became a third banana to somebody didn't get enough likes on their selfie.
Right.
And every lesson, they've learned the wrong lesson. And all they've done is destroy themselves for 5 years. And now they want to cast about. I mean, I actually saw, it was quite, valiant, no pun intended, Leah Williams on Twitter. And she was really trying to rally the troops. I was like, what are you going to rally? You've been calling people Nazis for 5 years. People don't forget that. You've been telling that customers aren't the customers. The store's the customers, or the editor's the customer, or the guy who chops down the tree that makes the pulp for the paper is the customer. The customer is the person who reads it, who buys it at a comic book store. And you've completely degraded them, dehumanized them, attacked them. It keeps coming to the same person. I was a YouTube critic. Heather Ontos was trying to get me unemployed because she didn't like some things I said in summer of 2017. All they've done is destroy the industry for 5 years, and now they're on this kumbaya bullshit. It's all over.
Yeah, and by the way, and on their way down, it's interesting that they're mocking you. The new Warriors, and by the way, the article I was reading about Rich Johnson, I pulled out of that one. Thank you, Pete, for being like, "Hey, Ethan, scroll down real quick and look. It's a troll." I was like, "Shit!" I thought Rich Johnson had kind of sobered up. These guys are, first of all, Marvel decides to take the ship down pointing at you. Like, these guys are on fire and crashing, and they're just like, Zach, with their new Warriors book with Night Thrasher in it, Snowflake and Safe Space. Don't think that wasn't entirely about you. It was about you. It's just astonishing to me. And then you've got Rich Johnson sitting there going, yeah, but this has been done throughout history. Has it really? You're going to compare Dave Cockrum and Chris Claremont's brand new, all different X-Men to this? That's the route you want to go down?
Yeah, Snowflake and Safe Space, I'm sure they're going to be around for forever. Decades.
Is there one member of that rebooted team that didn't look awesome the first second you looked at them?
No.
When they're, that classic cover where they're rushing at the reader. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can say reader, but I can't say customer. They weren't rushing at the customer, unless it was rushing at the editor. All of these stupid, that phrase they use, hill to die on. They had two hills to die on. Number one is that you were able to treat the customer in any way you wanted, as absolute garbage, as trash. And then now we're supposed to, what are we supposed to do? Have an individual charity for every store? Are we supposed to float
What can you
cash
do?
reserves to?
You're asking
Yeah,
the
there's
customers to do a
nothing.
lot of things. You're asking customers to inconvenience themselves.
I'm
So
sorry.
that
Are you talking about the comic stores
I'm
or
talking
the
about
people who
comic
read the
stores.
books?
I'm sorry, comic book stores. You're asking comic book stores, and we all are asking the customers of comic book stores to completely go out of their way to inconvenience themselves to save comic book shops at this point. Comic book shops obviously are an antiquated model. They can't survive. Everybody knows that. We're keeping them open on nostalgia and love for comics. But now at this point, you're asking them to go out of their way now just to save something that's, I don't know.
You know what they should do? Every single creator, especially the big ones, if there's a comic shop that's hurting, if there's multiple shops that are hurting, offer to buy back the books and say, hey, I'll pick them up, I'll buy them back. Even if you guys were then to put them on eBay or wherever, sign them, do something with them. You can help these shops out directly. Everybody looking around to do the whole like blame game thing, and you want to definitely call people out right now they should be stepping up, but offer solutions, offer some kind of, here's what we're going to do. Why don't you guys step up to the plate too?
But Pete, it's a Band-Aid though. You know that. I mean, everybody knows that. We're talking about Band-Aids at this point, and we're gushing blood. So I don't, I don't know. I don't know. It's like, yeah.
I've got a theory about Jim Lee being quiet.
Go ahead.
This is going to be used as a way to adjust off of the weekly direct market and turn it more into a standard publishing deal where your books come out when they come out. Throughout the year, you'll have some high price, kind of like Stephen King. Stephen King isn't putting out a chapter every week, except for he's done that as an experiment a couple of times. And if Stephen King would have had a book that was coming out April, it would have been no big deal just to push it off till July. It's the easiest thing in the world. A lot easier than rescheduling a movie premiere. The books are probably printed already. You just ship them 3 months later when things are better. Now that could happen. It seems very curious for a leader to be completely quiet, because basically no leaders are quiet anytime, even if they're saying things that are like, Elon Musk is basically like, I'm going to work. He's like, if you're sick, you can stay home, but I'm going to work. He's basically, kind of tweaking the nose of the panic crowd, but just absolute silence. I mean, it seems like a viable option. Where are they supposed to go? All the problems that, literally, Sean Gordon Murphy has to walk on eggshells, hoping to not displease Tess Fowler, Mags, and Heather. That's not a business model you can make plans off of. So just screw it. We're going to get out of the weekly racket. We're going to do higher profile books and put them out a couple times a year, and that's it.
Well, that's what we've been talking about doing all along. I said one successful model, and people say, wait a second, you can't just do one book a year. You do one book a year, people are going to forget. Well, tell that to the lady who wrote Twilight. Tell that to J.K. Rowling. Tell that to any of these people. You do a good book.
That's a good analogy.
This is the future. The future of comics is going to be exactly what we're doing. I've talked to Nick Barucci endlessly at Dynamite. He's like, I envy your model so much. He's like, it's so simple, and it is. Despite what these people say, it's very sustainable. It's very much sustainable. It requires just you,
totally,
printer. But the idea that you can do a book a year, one big quality book a year, maybe two. Keep your fans engaged and excited throughout the entire year for the next one. That is where the comic book industry has to go from here.
Well, that's the thing. You don't put out a book, then disappear for a year, and then put out a book. That's not how you. You got to promote. You market it. You engage with your readers, and then the more books and everything that you get out there, the more you have as a backstock to sell. The more you have to talk about,
print.
And you build it up.
Yep. You keep your story in print. I mean, that's the thing. You talk about it throughout. You're always talking about Cyberfrog. You're always talking about, the next book that's coming, the book, keep that on sale somewhere. And I think that's the way to go. I mean, that's what we're doing anyway. I don't know. And I agree with you. I think that, Jim Lee could be considering it too. I want Peter to do it. I keep telling Peter that he should do a premium line of books. that kind of follow comicsgate's model, where it's like, look,
we were actually talking about that, a bunch of different creators with me, about talking about like chromium covers, glow in the dark covers, if there's hologram covers, I don't even know anymore, but to just make that like a special thing with an Indiegogo. But it's alternatives creator owned, so it depends what people want to do with their book and how they want to get it out there. But you know, it's not, I don't take any kind of idea off the table or say never to it. So
yeah, I just think it's the way to go. The idea is just to keep people enthusiastic. The comic book industry is going to change. I mean, we keep saying that, but it really is going to change. And I'm angry about it, but and I know Zach's angry about it. I know everyone is kind of angry about it because we've been saying over and over again that this is leading to catastrophe. And we were mocked and we were shunned, belittled, scorned, abused. What else, Zach?
I don't want to play Scrabble against you ever. You just have too much of a vocabulary. Yeah, like there's no M. Night Shyamalan twist to this. You attacked the fans for 5 years straight. You have people, I mean, I still cannot believe that Tom Brevoort, Alana Smith thing where they were giggling about pissing off the right people. What is that? I don't want to piss off one single person. How does that even? First of all, maybe it's a little thing you giggle over, you know, in the break room. Oh yeah, we're really pissing them off. But you're saying in a promotional video.
Yeah, inside.
And then you got these other.
These are inside thoughts.
Yeah, yeah, like you hate them. You think you're fake celebrities, and you hate the people who buy the comics.
Well,
like,
they're talking about the people. They're like, we're trying to piss off the people, the fans. We used to just say we're trying to piss off the man. You know, we're gonna stick it to, you know, that used to be their whole thing. The fat pigs or the fat cats out there in Wall Street, we're sticking it to them. And everybody kind of goes, yeah, because nobody feels like a fat cat. So they go, yeah, stick it to the fat cats. These idiots were talking about sticking it to 50, 60, 70% of the reader base and pissing them off. And again, you know, we've analyzed social justice warriors and how they enter their entryism, their techniques of just being like, look, we're going to get into this by telling the fans that they're wrong and sexist and bigoted. Let us in to fix it, and then we're going to throw them right the hell out, which is what happened, is what you're describing.
Well, this is the logical conclusion to all that kind of behavior. If you keep telling people they're not welcome, why are you surprised when they just don't want to show up anymore?
And then the other one is, I bring up this thing that used to happen to me when I lived in New York City. There was a pizza place, you know, right by, you got to go do your laundry at the laundromat. And so I go over there while the stuff was in the dryer, and I liked the pizza. The location was great. The price was good, but they had this crazy old lady who'd yell at people for no reason. I mean, the classic New York City reason, you use the bathroom without buying stuff first, but she would just flip out on people. She never yelled at me once, but I stopped going there because it wasn't fun to go to a restaurant where people get yelled at and degraded. That's what they've done. So even the most liberal, progressive, comics readers, it's not fun to be in comics. It's constant talk about Nazis, bragging about blocking people, just these weird, awful people. And it never stops for 5 years straight.
It never stops until it stops. And then it stops. And ladies and gentlemen, Zach has got a campaign out right now called Pandemic. You're stuck inside, she isn't. Zach, what's this all about?
So I actually kind of just soft launched this thing because I wanted to have a finished cover. But so what happened was, one of the things that's very exciting about this new business model is that we don't have to, have a meeting with David Gabriel and marketing and plan that stuff out 2 years in advance. I can have some thoughts about something and say, hey, I've got a cool little story I want to tell. And then just, do some real basic checks on, is there another Indiegogo named this at the time? And then I think I had the whole thing set up within 24 hours. Everyone, I told them the idea, they were very enthusiastic. and it was, the whole cover was done within a day. It's already being drawn. The idea is it's very similar to right now. So there's a woman, she's a bartender, and the bars are closed. She can't work. She's out of money. She has no cash reserves. So she remembers, she's the gig economy. They talk about young people, they kind of bounce around from thing to thing. She's like, I might have to steal some stuff to get by. So she remembers this company she worked at Manhattan that was weird. She could never tell what they did. And it was the only place she ever worked at that had no security cameras. So she's like, this is a perfect place to rob. So she goes there, she starts stealing some laptops, petty cash, and then the entire board comes in all at once. So she hides, and this board sits down, and they basically talk about everything that people are wondering about the world right now. How did this start? Why is it spreading? Why is it going here? What's the plan? How are things going to be in a couple of years? She hears it all. So then she gets discovered, and obviously they gotta disappear her. She escapes, and then the rest of the story is her trying to figure out how to not be killed while also trying, what does she do with this knowledge she has?
This is awesome. It's great that you kind of just immediately launched this book. You just had an idea. You were able to throw it together. You're able to make it. You're able to get it out in a timely way when it's relevant, and totally awesome. Guys, make sure to back Pandemic. The great thing about it is also it's only $15. So you're just putting out the book. There are no extras or anything like that. Are you going to do a stretch goal?
No, because of the serious nature of the subject matter, I kind of feel like just a book. It's just a book. It comes out, and one of the things I like about Indiegogo is, you can have your set goals for your publishing costs and for production, and then not everything's going to make 400,000. It's fine. This is already, it's not going to lose money. So now it's paid for its production. So now all the extra money will be based on, okay, more people, more printing, more fulfillment, and then it'll be very quick. It's already being drawn up to page 3. Just the colorist just started. The cover is the trade dress is being completed today. So this is very exciting. This could be going to the printers next month.
I love it. Very, very cool. All right. I want to promote College of the Dead. Oh, good. Adam's selling a few more books. College of the Dead Graduation Day is another great comic right now by Adam Post. You should check that out. I've got Vengeance of Vampirella featuring Cyberfrog #1. This is Vengeance of Vampirella, but Cyberfrog is on the cover with Salamandroid. So grab a copy of that. Cyberfrog Unforgettable Tales is over, but it's still up. You guys can still get a copy if you want. It's still doing pretty good business, even though the campaign is over. Thank you guys very much for backing and supporting this color reprint of the first 2 appearances of Cyberfrog with foil embossed covers. Those are going to come out in July, Zach. I can't wait to see what those look like. And Cyberfrog 2 Wrecked Planet. Thank you guys. $390,365 today. This campaign's still moving and doing terrifically. The first month of Cyberfrog Blood Honey brought in $400,000, and we've come pretty close to that in our first week. So, hooray, everyone. Hooray. Thank you. I want to show you alternaaccess.com. Peter Samedi, what is Alterna Access?
Alterna Access is our direct ordering site for readers and retailers.
Let's take a look at this here. I don't think I've ever been there. Oh, Zach disappeared.
Oh, what happened there?
Typical. He all right, I'm done talking. I'm leaving. alternaaccess.com. This is where you can find everything. Look at this. You've got you're selling bags and boards here too.
Yeah. This way people can just get everything all in one shot, and they don't have to. When we bag them and board them too, so they don't have to worry about that.
I started reading Alterna books. I ordered a big bundle from you and have been enjoying them thoroughly. Thank you for making all those books available like that. Are you going to be doing another big, gigantic opportunity via Indiegogo?
We probably got something in line for April.
Okay.
I want to get our creators involved. I want to make sure that they can get commissions on there or whatever else, so they can get some money coming their way too. And got some cool things. I love that I love that collector case thing you have.
Have you looked into that?
I'm looking into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Make sure when you launch in April, let me know and let's promote it here so that we can get people involved and interested. And I want my audience obviously to be supporting alternative books as much as possible. All right. Let me read some super chats. Comics du Nord. I read that one. Let's see. Integer Spin says Metal Symbiote, a Metal Symbiote crossover. A-list talent only, Snyder writing and Stegman pencils, Cates writing and Capullo pencils. Imagine if they did that. So if they had the metal characters from Batman with Venom and the Spider-Man stuff as a crossover, yes, it would. That's how to do it. That's how to get people back into the shops. Don't guilt people into supporting their comic shops. That's not how it works. I hate that. Peter, I really hate that. Like the idea, like, please do what you can for your.
I hate that it's become that way. It really has. I hate that we have to do that.
Make me want to go. What can you do to get me there because I want to be there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's how to save comic book stores. You cannot. This industry functions so often on like guilt and shaming and just pity, and it's like just stop it. Like create good stuff. There was a time where I wanted to go to comic shops. I needed to go there. I was excited to be there, and I thought about it all the time when I was in school. I couldn't wait to find out what was coming out. Bring us back to that. It's like you guys can do it. You can totally do it. Just stop, man.
Well, first and foremost, put out good books that people are going to enjoy, that you believe in. And don't just, we see this so often, I think, in mainstream comics, a lot of this chasing the trend and chasing what they think is buzzworthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's not creative. To constantly be a follower is not creative. Being creative means you take risks.
Yeah, it's like we've made Iceman gay, and now there's an article in the New York Times, and I ask you, did that lead to sales? No, it didn't. Okay, so it led to no sales. People read articles, and I have this talk all the time with Mike Miller. I used to. And I used to say to him, look, you can go on shows. People are always saying, go on Joe Rogan, go on the show and promote Cyberfrog. I can do that. People will hear about the story of Cyberfrog and the fact that, Cyberfrog versus the SJWs in comics. They'll be very glad to hear the story that I tell. And then they won't buy the comic. They'll be glad that Cyberfrog is out there, and then they won't buy the comic. New York Times readers will be glad to know that Iceman is gay, and there are more gays in comics, and then they won't buy them.
You ever see Zoolander?
No.
Oh, there's a part with Owen Wilson's character. He's talking about how he really likes Sting, and he doesn't listen to his music, but he appreciates the fact that he makes it. And that's
exactly right. That's exactly right. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for making it. Remember, you're trying to get people to actually buy it. So why don't you figure out what people like rather than trying to figure out what's going to get you a backpack? Why don't you figure out what that is and make more of that? And this guy's saying metal versus symbiotes. Yes, please. More of that. Get Todd McFarlane. Beg Todd McFarlane to do covers. Say, Todd, it's to save the comic industry. Do your part. Get stuff out there that people want to buy, and that's what's going to save comics. That's what's going to keep stores open. You idiots. Snarkticon DM says, all caps, the House of Pie-deas. I need some pies. Let me go out and get some. Planet Musk Vlog says, started a box at the local comic shop with New Warriors. The owner let me in the side door like a speakeasy. He was shocked to hear EVS sent me. Fist bump. I didn't send you to get New Warriors. Nerdy Biz Guy says, next for comicsgate is to build, world build mutual characters. That's interesting. Well, I mean, I could do that now. Cyberfrog lives in such a distinctive world that, if any of Pete's characters wanted to cross over with Cyberfrog.
I think you could have crossovers, yeah. As far as like making a universe, I think that gets pretty crazy.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. It's too much juggling. Yo, Cecil.
Yeah.
Hello,
Cecil.
I had to get provisions. I went to the liquor store. They're going to do a closeout Yeah, of all non-essential, but I found that the liquor store said that New York State is considering liquor stores essential. But either way,
I'm gonna go out too because somebody's talking about pies, and I'm like, I keep going out and shopping. I'm gonna go to BJ's Wholesale one more time. They let me get 2 things of paper towels, 2 big, huge things of paper towels. I'm gonna go this time, and I thought I was equipped with toilet paper, but people are freaking me out, so I'm gonna go get 2 of those.
that's all starting to get, that's getting resupplied. Everything's the panic over with that stuff. Yeah, in New York, I noticed.
I don't know. I still feel much better knowing that the house has everything that we need because I like being. Here's the thing. I like this. My number one fantasy is bomb shelter.
Yeah, I know. You sing a song about it.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the outside world to collapse. Comicsgate actually provides a little bit for that fantasy. Like, I love the idea that, like, we're doing fine. We're okay. Comicsgate's all right. If you're in here, you're on the ark. You know, the floodwaters are out there. But you chose to come along with us, and it's a good thing that you did. Our model is small, but it's invulnerable, and it's a good place to be right now, Cecil. Congratulations.
Yeah. So I bought 2 huge jugs of whiskey. I got a cheaper stuff because I wanted the bulk bottles.
How much whiskey do you even need?
I don't know. A lot. I drink a lot. I'm sipping a little right now. I'm baking cookies with my nieces right now, so I'm.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm going out to I'll get some more booze too, even though we have plenty. I'll go out and get some more. I think.
By the way, I didn't say hi to Peter. Hi, Peter. I don't know if we ever met before. Maybe
No, we haven't. How's it going, Cecil?
I'm a big fan of yours, and actually, I have the yearly subscription that just came to an end. I got to re-up it.
Yeah, re-up that. Get that.
Okay, yeah, I will. Here comes Zach again. Zach is actually his cautionary tale when he ran out of whiskey the other night. I mean, I had nightmares about it. And he was on Sunday. He couldn't buy it in Texas. It was really a real nightmare scenario. So that's why I went out and stocked up. And tonight is the end of Cash Grab. The end.
Oh, we got to see. So I'll be there with you. I'll be there with you to promote that.
Do something tonight?
Yeah. I'm planning on. I kind of set aside Saturday here to just go ahead and live stream. I finished up all the sketch covers. Hunter's up there wrapping them up. I could be sitting here working on the Salamandroid. By the way, the Salamandroid glow-in-the-dark cover has become a triple gatefold. I don't know why. I just went, let's keep throwing this image out. So it's taken a little bit of time, but I might turn it into a poster later. We'll get Cash Grab. We'll get Cash Grab up past 150 tonight, I hope.
Yeah, we got it. I want to get the fan art section. You know, anybody who follows me on Twitter knows I get just mountains and mountains of awesome fan art, and I really want to showcase it. And that's the 150 stretch goal.
Let me see if I got to pull that up.
I just want to give a shout out to Yul Carter for a second. I'm going to be talking to him tonight on Alterna Comics Live. He runs Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, California. Great guy, great retailer.
I am not submarining you, Yul Carter. Shout out to Yul.
How come you know him, Cecil?
He's on Twitter.
Oh, do I know him or no? I don't know him.
He's in the chat.
He is?
Yeah, he's in the chat.
Oh, I want to get to know him too. I'll watch your show tonight.
He's a good guy.
Does he have ideas?
He's got ideas, and he's vocal, which is what people need to be right now. Especially if you're a retailer, don't depend upon, as we can see, don't depend upon the big publishers to stand up for you. They could care less. So be vocal and get those people coming to your store or online orders or whatever it is you've got. And they, people like Yule, retailers like Yule, they love their customers. They love them, which is great.
Hi, Yule. We need to figure out what to do for indie comics. The big two are on their own. We can actually figure out a way to get through this and do better business, Zach.
Is he still?
Is he there?
Still on?
I need Zach to get me in touch with Kelsey Shannon. I want to show off the mail-in cover tonight.
Zach is just. It takes a while sometimes for Zach to answer. Zach, are you there?
Look at this guy. His whole business is.
Is he running up the steps in Philly to get to Stallone?
He's a professional YouTuber. His entire business model depends on YouTube and the internet, and he has the shittiest internet.
This is the thing. Like, people go, why isn't Zach live streaming anymore? And the reason why he doesn't live stream anymore is because of this. And I'm just like, move back to New York because I'm sick of this.
That plan costs $12 more a month. He's not going to freaking live stream.
No, but when he lived in New York, he had good internet and he could live stream all the time. He used to show us his apartment and everything. He used to fling comics out his window. It was a good time. And now he's in Texas or whatever. And it's, this is what we have. We have a shell of Zach. He's not even really Zach anymore.
He's Sylvester Stallone.
Ghost of Zach.
Ghost of Zach.
Zach, if you're listening, email me Kelsey Shannon's telephone number. I want to show off that mail-in centipede cover tonight. He's had it for a month and it hasn't.
It's done?
He told me over a month ago that he has it finished. He's finishing it up. And he has the whole cover except for John's face cover finished. And I haven't heard. I just looked at the last time he responded to me was 2/26.
I would love to see that. I'm looking forward to seeing what that cover looks like.
Yeah, well, I'd like to show it last night.
You have to. Now's the time. Cash Grab, the graphic novel by Cecil. Wow, you jumped up to 144, 254 with 12 hours left. Dirtworm Doug was a huge success. The Anna cover was a huge success. These are all big draws. But this is what we're waiting to see now. We're waiting to see the John Malin as the head of the Human Centipede cover. Mm-hmm. Kelsey's supposed to be drawing this right now, and we don't know where Kelsey is.
The last time he sent a message to me was on February 26th, and he said, I'm finishing it up now. I'll have it to you this afternoon. I haven't heard from him yet.
Wow. All right. So he's got to be.
But Zach got him to do a cover this week on a surprise project. So he's got some kind of fucking hotline to Kelsey. I need to get
that. The head sketch flask did pretty well, right? You sold 107 of those.
Yeah.
It's a damn good idea.
Yeah.
5 flasks for the troop. Good stuff. By the way, I'm getting these blockheads. Blockheads is making me Heather and Cyberfrog. So we're gonna do those for the Unforgettable campaign. Fantastic. Everybody back. Cash Grab tonight. We're gonna close that out, and it's gonna be a whole lot of fun. Cecil is gonna get to 150 tonight. We're gonna see that happens, Cecil. I hope.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I got to pull cookies out of the oven. Otherwise, I'm going to hear a little girl screaming from burns right now. Hold on.
Okay. Charlie's London says, I see Baby Yoda. Nerdy Biz Guy says, the bungee cords just hung themselves at the thought of the task of having to bungee me, I guess. David, am I that fat? Come on now.
They're mean to you. They're mean.
They're so mean. Big Ben Henderson says, fix this now, Ethan and Peter. David L says, Peter and Uncle E are visionaries. Love you guys. So we love you too. Ninolu says, was Zach in Wuhan, China, Iran, or Italy in the last 3 months? Zach, you want to answer that? Zach, if you were, don't answer. Okay. Eric Lavoie says, Zach, upgrade your internet. Big Ben Henderson says, thank you for your service, Zach. Salute, Expendables. Barb Rogers Gun Girl says, don't save SJWs who screwed themselves and everyone else. They will be homeless and broke. Leave them in the streets. They would do it to you. Rhino says, it's okay to keep attacking Anto, Zach. We will never forget her mocking Samedi being suicidal when he was betrayed by his friends. She's a sociopath. I forgot about that. What happened?
Yeah, she somebody had said something about that, and then she had quote tweeted being like, well, I guess you should have used the block list.
What a... They are fully aware of everything that they're doing. They're fully aware of everything. It's a joke. It's all a big joke.
Everything's a big joke. Yeah, as long as it gets some likes and retweets. Who cares?
200 Watt Studio says bomb shelter syndrome. You warned them, they didn't listen. Now the bombs are falling and they're banging on your shelter door. Well, it's going to get worse. Right now, I got a couple. Dan Fraga came in, but Dan Fraga is like, you know what? I've always been comicsgate. Yeah, he's just like, I've always been comicsgate, and he's fighting people. He's not fighting people, but he's explaining what comicsgate is, and he's having to defend himself quite a bit. And I talked to him and said, I warned you about this. If you're comicsgate, you have to have have to have very thick skin and a steel spine, because they're going to try to convince you. They're going to try to scare you and get you to back off. But if you do back off, there's nothing else waiting for you. The comic book. Look at Richard Pace. Look at Moose. These guys.
Do I have to?
Like, they're not doing anything. They're not doing well. So I would say Dan's doing great. Dan believes in comicsgate stuff, and Dan's whole thing, I like his whole attitude. He's just like, I'm going to be an example of what comicsgate should be, and I dig that. That's the right attitude to take. Say, look, I believe that SJWs are ruining comics. I'm going to show people what comicsgate should be, or what the comic industry should be, by my example.
It's all about loving your readers, your supporters, being there for them, telling the stories you want to tell, not denigrating people, not chastising them, not saying, that's the funny part I've noticed over the years, is that the common thread is that people are very comfortable with telling people not to buy, turning people away, but to actually be inviting, to be welcoming, to extend the hand, and be ready that maybe they don't, someone's not going to say, I'll shake it back, but they go, it's not for me. To do that is a risk, but to say no, you have all the power. You get to control that situation. But to say, hey, come on, check out this book, I think you'll love it, you leave the opportunity there for a no, and they're afraid of that.
Like, if you hate, like, if you never ask the girl on a date, she's never going to tell you no. So you might as well just call her names. You might as well just denigrate her and call her a biatch and all that stuff, and then you have all the power. But I mean, that's interesting. That's why they do this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about maintaining control.
I never thought of that.
Well, yeah, that's a whole psychological of like fear of failure. If you never try, then you can never fail.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm begging people to be fans of Cyberfrog. I want people to read Cyberfrog, and I don't mind if people tell me no. That's okay. I'll get them next time, and that's the only way to succeed. The customers have all the power. You have zero power. You have the power to make product and put it out there in the universe, and ask customers to support it. Telling customers to go away is a very, very strange business model. I don't get that at all. Zach, are you there? Is this a live stream or a seance? Says Bogus Fortune. Nathan Brendan Master says, hey, Zach, move here to Chicago. Great internet. Well, I mean, Eric Lavoie says, YouTube is not showing your live stream in my list. It used to. YouTube sucks. Yeah, they seem to have ghosted a lot of YouTubers. So, people aren't getting alerts. And yet, we've had 1,600 people here at one point. So people are still figuring out that we're live. It's not so bad. All right. So with that, Zach, I'm sorry that nobody can hear you. I don't know if you're talking right now and people can't hear you. Cecil as well. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to run out and run some errands, and then we're going to go live again tonight. And Peter, I want to invite you.
Uh-oh. YouTube is taking them all out one by one. He'll be back. This is Jersey internet, not Texas internet.
If you okay, I'm back now. That's so annoying when that happens. It really is annoying. I got to go out and run some errands. I'm going to launch again tonight. Peter, I want to invite you to come back on because I'm going to, we're just going to keep live streaming. We're going to promote Cash Grab and get that across the finish line. But I also want to talk about Alterna and your ideas and plans.
Yeah, throw me a link whenever you want. I'm always, around, and if I can join, I'll join.
I really appreciate that, my friend.
And also, Ethan, we'll talk about. I did a quasi face reveal last night. That's getting a lot of.
I saw that. We'll talk about that tonight. This is our angry stream. We're going to do a fun stream tonight, guys. But this was the angry one. Tonight is going to be all fun. Dan Fraga will be here as well. Dan's been wanting to come on and start talking about Black Flag and stuff. We're going to get him involved. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Zach, for trying. And we'll see you again tonight, probably around 8 p.m. How's that sound?
Good.
All right, guys.
Finally can take this mask off.